Wednesday, maybe a spot leftover shower early. Otherwise, Wednesday's a dry and chilly day, partly sunny and 58. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Upgrade your HVAC system now, and you could qualify for Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. Rebates available for a limited time. For a free estimate, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. I got to clear my throat already. Thanks for the extra day off yesterday. This is so gross, but I think that maybe I acquired my daughter's hand, foot, and mouth from over the course of like two Fridays ago. My daughter, the youngest one. Now, when you're 4, you just are in a cesspool of germs, right? You're out. Are you out of that?
Yeah, we're gone.
You're not swimming in that pool anymore.
Not in the ball pits anymore.
Oh, we don't. Oh,
It's where you get
pits.
most diseases in the United States.
Hand, foot, mouth, and balls.
From balls. Ew.
So she got it, and it's something that you deal with. And the frustrating thing about hand, foot, and mouth disease is that first you get a fever and like sore throat symptoms or whatever. The sores don't show up until day 4, 5, or 6 of it, and once the sores show up, you're probably been fever-free for a few days, so you're not contagious anymore, but you can't. It's so unuseful. The sores could alert you to you're getting sick, but no, it's like first you're going to get sick, no one's going to know what's going on, and then after you realize it and you get over the fever, here comes some sores.
That's all part of the virus's plan to survive.
I hate it. It's something that traditionally adults don't get, and Friday-ish, I started to kind of feel a little under the weather. And, as an adult, you get sick and you kind of just decide, I'm just going to push through this. I'm fine. Really, what will knock you out is the fever. That's what makes me go, okay, I need to sit down and get over this. And I never had a fever this weekend, but I felt like the inside of my mouth and throat was raw. I told Trisha when I was telling her, I was like, I feel like a layer of the skin inside my mouth has been peeled off.
You know what that reminds me of? Just your description of it?
Hell?
No.
Oh, that's what it reminded me of. Well, I don't know. I didn't need
Close.
to be reminded.
No, it's more like when you used to get one of those giant gobstoppers, those jawbreakers, and you'd start licking it, and you'd be like, this is going to be great. It's so much candy. And you'd get just like a little layer into it, and you'd go, I can't keep doing this. It's stripping the skin off my tongue.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I'm more familiar with hell than I am with
Apparently.
what you just described there. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday, I was telling this to Ethan before the show started. Sunday was Evelyn's birthday. She is now a double-digiter in age 10. And so what I needed to do on Sunday was I needed to just check out and rest. But I couldn't because I had to be mom. You can't rest on a 10-year-old's birthday. So nothing else felt bad. I never had a fever, never really felt achy or anything like that. It was just this throat thing. So yesterday I didn't get out of bed till 4 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't chime in while we were talking much, I thought she must feel bad.
Probably not awake, but I just needed to, I took some ibuprofen, I needed to medicate, and I needed to keep my mouth shut and just let it sit and rest. And I think it helped. So I'm feeling much better today. And of course, President Trump's morning so far has been pretty much dedicated to health and the presidential fitness test, which is back.
From the late 1950s until 2013, grade schoolers across the country competed against each other in the presidential fitness test, but others. And then we had the Obama administration. Wonderful, wonderful person, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? We had the Obama administration, which phased out this wonderful tradition of physical fitness. Thank you, Barack, very much. Great job. And we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. My administration's working very hard to defend America's cherished athletic traditions and pass our values of excellence and competitiveness to the next generation. So important.
So they've gone on this. You've got Noah Syndergaard standing back there, massive specimen of a man. Is it Gary Player and TJ Oshie is standing right over here off the screen. Bryson DeChambeau is there, and then of course you've got some cabinet members and children who are standing around the president as he's signing this to put the presidential fitness test back into play. This doesn't seem like a really big deal when I'm thinking about what does the president of the United States need to be spending their time on? But this is one of those culture things. This is one of the, politics is downstream from culture. Why would it be that Barack Obama and Joe Biden would have bombed out the presidential fitness test? Would it be because it would isolate people who were not fit? I would assume so.
That's what I was going to say. So sure.
Man, are you all contributed out after hosting yesterday?
It was a long day.
That's what I was going to say. So sure.
So, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You've got, in school, an opportunity for kids to compete, yes, sort of with each other, but up to a standard. And we've spent 2 decades now wiping standards away. Because if you have a standard, then you have normal. And if you have normal, then you have abnormal, which, and other people might refer to as weird, and we don't want that. I don't think it's a surprise that you have everything didn't go back to the presidential fitness test. It's not like that was the Jenga piece that caused the whole thing to crash down. But it is worthy of mentioning that it's good to have physical standards, physical fitness standards. It's good to say you should be able to physically perform in this particular way. I will also add that we don't seem to have reading standards that we adhere to. We don't seem to have math standards that we adhere to. And if you look top to bottom across, specifically, we're going to talk about the state of Illinois here in a little bit with Harmeet Dhillon, who is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the United States Department of Justice. What standards do we hold? What standards do we hold legally? What standards do we hold from an education system that is implemented state by state or maybe even federally? But also, what standards do we even hold culturally, societally? We have blown out expectations for an entire, I'm going to say probably more than one generation worth of kids. Did you do the presidential fitness test?
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing it. I remember being able to do some of it and definitely not being able to do others.
Yeah, me too.
I've never in my lifetime, I'm going to say this, and there are going to be, you're probably CrossFitters, but people out there who I could get you to do that, Annie. I've never been able to do a pull-up. I will never be able to do a pull-up. It's just not happening for me. I don't feel like I'm an unaccomplished human because that pull-up is standing in the way from me and success. It would be super cool to be able to do a pull-up, but there are a lot of other things that I was able to do. There was a lot of other things that I was, better at than other people, and then I was never fast. I was always quick. Different application when it comes to athletic competition and usefulness in life. But standards still existed. And, what is the consequence of me knowing, gosh, she can do 2 pull-ups. I can't even get close to doing 1. Did it make me feel bad about myself? Maybe even a little bit. Is it okay if that motivates me to try to be good at something else or to assess if I ever can do a pull-up? Probably. I think it's okay for people to realize you're not going to be good at everything. Because when you erase standards, when you erase expectations, when you erase a norm, a societally agreed upon norm, then you erase the confrontation that you have to have with yourself about, I should really probably try to be better at fill in the blank here. When we discuss politics, we have to understand that everything that is politically actionable right now has been a part of a plan in a cultural influence probably a decade plus before. In order to get it to a place where it is actionable by people who are willing to show up to cast a vote or cast a ballot on something, culturally, something has been prioritized or deprioritized long before it's effective at the ballot box. And if you consider in the last 20 years. I mean, think about it. 20 years ago is 2006. That's not, 2006 doesn't seem like that long ago, but 20 years ago seems like a long time ago. 2006, summer of 2006 is when I graduated college. How could I possibly be out of college for 20 years? That blows my mind. But the things that we would do and participate in, the things that were culturally acceptable and not acceptable in 2006 versus 2026, we've come, there's been a lot of distance traveled in how we have adapted to what I will summarize as a woke culture. And that's a cheap way to do it because everybody already has predetermined what they mean by woke. There are people who want society to wake up to some things that are actually true. And I think that there are reasons why people on the left and people on the right need to wake up to what is actually true. But woke was the politicization of that awareness. And it took it so far past the initial goal that it's almost it's laughable to look at what woke is, because the purpose of the entire process was to gain political power, not to actually transform some kind of, societal slight on somebody, maybe an acknowledgement that there is a pretty decent group of people who exist in this climate and we're ostracizing them. And I think that it'd be okay if we welcome them into society and figured out how they could be included in our cultural understanding as opposed to isolated. There's a lot there for us to agree upon. But those who took that understanding and decided to make it a means for political power gain, that's the joke here. That's what's laughable. And with the presidential fitness test coming back, I definitely see a fearless reinstitution of the idea of the standard. Of which, if I took the presidential fitness test right now, I doubt I could do any of it. We're going to go over exactly what is in this fitness test later. We'll talk about what we could do or what we used to could do. But I don't know how well I'm going to be doing at 42. There's a lot that goes into this, and today the president has taken that step back. So I'm looking at it more symbolically as a reinstitution of standards and expectations, and I think that's a very good thing. We are going to speak in just a couple minutes here with Harmeet Dhillon. She is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. She is going to talk to us about these 30 Illinois schools that are on this list, which include local schools like Gillespie School District, O'Fallon School District, a couple other here that are right across the river that are a part of the entire state investigation into those schools who are implementing an alleged secret gender transition ideology study. They're supposed to be able to opt out of this education. Did these schools do it? Well, Harmeet Dhillon is looking into it, and she's going to talk to us about her investigation when we return. Don't go away.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement.
Is St. Louis conservative?
Prosecutors say they helped children change genders without telling their parents. The review is also looking at whether the districts violated parents' right to opt their child out of lessons on gender and sexuality. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin reports from Chicago. Mike, this just keeps happening.
Yeah, and Harris, if Illinois schools are transitioning students without the consent or knowledge of their parents, the Department of Justice is going to find out about it. As you mentioned, the DOJ has launched an investigation into some 36 schools in Illinois. The investigation is going to probe whether the schools are pushing woke agenda on the students, particularly if they're pushing sexual orientation and gender ideology. Now, the investigation will examine if parents have been notified about how sexual orientation and gender ideology is being presented to the students, whether parents are being kept in the dark about a child taking on another gender, and whether students are forced into locker rooms and bathrooms with a person born the opposite gender.
So there's a Fox News report on this ridiculous story coming out of Illinois schools, they're my home state, where it turns out that the secret gender transition mentality, where there are things that are going to be discussed at school that are going to be kept from parents, they're looking into 36 schools regarding this type of behavior, among other things. And we're going to speak now with the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. Harmeet Dhillon joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to have you back on the show with us, Harmeet.
Thank you, Annie. Happy to be here.
So I want to give you the floor here to tell us, you're talking to a bi-state listener area, so about 45% or so of our audience is in Illinois. What do you want people to know about what might be taking place in their schools, in their classrooms, without those parents knowing in the state of Illinois?
Well, Illinois' learning standards for so-called comprehensive personal health and safety education and comprehensive sexual health education are problematic in the sense that we are being told that they don't include opt-out rights for parents. And so, the core concepts in, for example, children as young as 5 to 7, it will include gender identity and gender role stereotypes. For 8 to 10-year-olds, the role of hormone blockers on young people who identify as transgender, and teaching students that sex assigned at birth is a concept, which is, of course, anti-scientific. For 11 to 13-year-olds, they're teaching them about vaginal, oral, and anal sex. Sorry to offend any of your listeners there with that graphic stuff, but that's what 11 and 13-year-olds are being taught. And develop a plan for the school to promote dignity and respect for people of all gender identities. And then finally, high school students have programs to advocate for school and community policies that promote gender identity, dignity. So this is pervasive and dating from 5-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds. And parents have a right under Supreme Court precedent, reiterated most recently and earlier this year in a case called Mahmoud versus Taylor, to direct their children's education, particularly on sensitive matters like this. And if these schools are not informing the parents about their opt-out rights or allowing them to opt out, that's a problem. And to the extent that this identity indoctrination is actually grooming children to change their gender identity, and that's being kept from parents, that's strictly illegal under Supreme Court precedent. So we want to make sure that parents and children in Illinois are being protected, and we've identified these school districts based on federal funding that goes to them, and so that's how we pick these school districts.
If anybody is listening right now and they know of a situation or scenario in their Illinois public school district, is this something that you think could be broader than the schools that you've highlighted? Is this the start for the department?
Yeah, I think this is happening all over the country, definitely. Yeah. There have been lawsuits in other jurisdictions as well. We are also looking at sports issues under Title IX because girls and boys are entitled to equal access and proper access to their sports opportunities. And when girls are forced to share locker rooms with boys and vice versa, that impacts their right to access that equal opportunity. And that is also going on all over the country. We have lawsuits pending by my department in Minnesota, Maine, and California. And I think it's a very important right that it's mainly girls who are, suffering. In occasional cases, there's a case in Loudoun County where boys were forced to share a locker room with a girl. But it's usually going in the opposite direction because boys will be boys. And I think it's a problem.
Yeah. Harmeet Dhillon speaking with us right now, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. I want to key in a little bit on that Supreme Court precedent from here recently that you were highlighting. I think it's important, at least as my recollection, I hope I'm getting this right, is that the people who challenged the education, especially of these small children, this type of gender identity ideology, that it wasn't just coming from Christian families. There were religious entities that came together to say this is not for us and we should have the ability to opt out, that this isn't a Christian identity versus a more liberal progressive social identity. It's bigger than that.
Well, Mahmoud versus Taylor is an example of that. That's a Muslim family that wanted to protect their children from this kind of indoctrination. So you're absolutely correct. It is a lot of people of faith, but it doesn't have to be people of faith. You could not believe in God and still believe that it is the role of the parents,
yes,
and not, blue-haired, anthropology graduates to be indoctrinating your children on gender identity and use terms like sex assigned at birth. That's not even scientific. That's crazy.
I want to ask you too, specifically about the state of Illinois, which is my home state. Is I've watched our governor, Governor J.B. Pritzker, a supermajority of Democrats in the General Assembly in Springfield, who really don't even run the budget by the Republicans that are there because they don't need any of their votes and they pass it in the dead of night. The state is a destination for far left progressive policies that they can get through if they really want to. J.B. Pritzker, the governor, has said repeatedly that they're going to do everything they can to go against what the Trump administration implements. They're going to push back. They want to be a leader, a bellwether of sorts in trying to fight back against Trump. Do you believe that these implementations in these school districts are meant to subvert specifically Trump administration rules, laws, federal laws, or do you think that this is just the way that the left goes when they have unchecked power within a state?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is specific to Trump. This kind of indoctrination was happening under, the Biden administration, and it's been something that's been going on, I would say, probably increasing for the last 10 years or so. I personally, before I became the head of the Civil Rights Division, represented 4 different young women who had been, groomed in this manner in schools and on social media, and then took steps to attempt to change their gender identity, so to speak, and then went on to sue doctors and, I've had other cases involving challenging this type of behavior in schools. It is happening all over the country. It isn't just Illinois. It isn't having anything to do with Trump. And, people are pushing back because, look, in Europe, these types of procedures to change gender for children are increasingly banned. Europe tried it, and it didn't work. In fact, it doesn't make people happier. It doesn't work. It mutilates people, and you can't change your gender. Sorry, that's just not a thing. So
Science.
I think we need to protect children are vulnerable. Like adults are a different category. Adults can do whatever, but children, we have a duty as a society, and parents have a duty to their family members to protect them, and the state can't interfere with that.
Harmeet Dhillon, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice, speaking with us right now. So when we see this being force-fed in these Illinois districts as the investigation continues, we'll find out more specifically about what each school district is doing. Is this something that comes from the teachers' unions? Is this something that comes just from the State Board of Education? Where do you suspect that this type of aggressive indoctrination, how is it making its way into the classroom?
Well, teachers' unions definitely push this stuff, but it's left-wing legislators in your legislatures that pass these laws that make this the law.
So it looks like the power does rest within the people of the state. If they wanted to change it, of course, you could do so at the state legislature level. I just want to tell you, as a resident of the state of Illinois, I'm grateful that you are looking into this. We feel very unseen if you're a conservative of any kind in the state of Illinois, and knowing that you and the Department of Justice is taking a look at this, it's very refreshing. And we're really grateful for your time today, Harmeet. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. Harmeet Dhillon, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. You can follow her on X. I very much so encourage you to do that because she's she's regularly communicating there with people who are like, hey, you should look at this. And then if it catches her attention, if it doesn't get buried in however many notifications she gets on any given day, sometimes these cases are spurred by her interaction there. And she does update you quite a bit there at Harmeet K. Dhillon on X. We'll break real quick here. At the end of the hour, we've got Wiggins America, what people in their 60s want to tell people in their 40s. Find out from Ryan Wiggins what those little bits of advice might be. And Senator Jim Talent will be with us at 1:05. The Project Freedom is well on its way. Is it a success? And I've got one other question I want to ask Senator Talent, because I keep hearing this from the president. I hear this from some of his detractors. If we're talking about not having a nuclear war, when we went in last summer and decimated their nuclear capacities, what was the difference between what we were able to accomplish there and why we had to go back to finish the job? So we'll ask Senator Talent about that in about 30 minutes from now. We'll be right back. Air Comfort Service, you find them online easily at aircomfortservice.com for their heating, cooling, insulation services that they can provide you. They are the very best. Call them at 314-513-0091. I want to encourage you, of course, if you're looking for your own home, to reach out to Air Comfort Service if you have HVAC needs, but also if you are a business owner, if you're an office manager, if you're somebody who's taking care of a property and you know that there's a weak spot in that HVAC system, call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation and get your free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repairs. If you're looking at a steep, expensive, questionable repair bill, if you're questioning the quoted repair that even needs to be done, you need Air Comfort Service to give you that free second opinion. And you can trust these folks when they come out. They're wonderful people. 314-513-0091. Call them at 314-513-0091. You can take my word for it as a customer of theirs, but you can also read their thousands of reviews. I think you'll be pleased. AirComfortService.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The BizDash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis, an office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
From Ellisville to Glen Carbon, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I'm guessing that more than half, especially people who come from families or communities where there's a lot of obesity are going to be taking them, probably taking them at lower dosages than are prescribed. And I don't think that you can control the compounding pharmacies and gray market, mostly because, and I could be wrong here, so I want to be careful, but I'm not aware of a major adverse event.
So there you have a neuroscience scientist, Andrew Huberman, talking about GLP-1. So we're going to talk a little bit about that right now because that's the YouTube poll for today. How do you feel about GLP-1 weight loss medicines? These are the fat shot, as Donald Trump calls them, and many other people do. I've heard other people call them the skinny shot, too, so we could go either way. How do you feel about them? Yes, you like them and you use them. Yes, you like them, but you haven't tried them. No, you don't like them and you have tried them. And no, you don't like them and you wouldn't try them. So the question that we're asking you is about these GLP-1s, because there's a lot of research that suggests, because they've been implemented for quite some time due to the effect that it has on diabetes and lowering, you know, the different types of A1C, the different things that are implemented in a way that makes people healthier. The benefactor of using these products and the research that was done on it made people realize this really does help people lose weight. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but I'm really curious where your thoughts are on this. How do you feel about it? You in favor of it? Are you not in favor of it? And then the disclaimer underneath each one, yes, you're for it. No, you're not for it, is whether or not you've taken it. So I'll tell you right now, I have, and I've lost over 20 pounds on tirzepatide, which is there's Ozempic is semaglutide, Mounjaro is tirzepatide, and then there's another one that I can't think of right now. And I've tried both of them, and the one that I'm on right now it really fits my lifestyle because the benefits of it are more than just weight loss. There's a lot of lifestyle habits that I've been able to develop that are really, really, really hard to develop if I want to continue to be a parent and prioritize my kids. So my experience, and if you want to know more about it, what I'm doing, message the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and I'll tell you about the specifics of it. I don't need to go into great detail here, but I'd be happy to talk to any of you about what I'm doing if you message the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. But I am a yes, and I use them. Now, I have the majority of the diets that I've ever gone on that have been very planned out, targeted diets are always been post-baby. It's whenever I'm, have had a baby, gained the weight from a baby, and I always gain plenty of weight because I just was so miserable. I didn't want to do anything. I see women who are just keeping up with their weightlifting routine during pregnancy, and there's just every time I get pregnant, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right, and I just can't. I physically cannot do it.
I don't even do it, and I'm not pregnant.
Well, I mean, it's just to be nauseous and miserable the whole time, and then to think like, oh, I'm going to go throw some weight around a gym. It's just not. It was not in the cards for me. And anybody who's like, Annie, if you just would have done it, I'd just punch you in the face. Like, we'll fight there. I'll get my boxing routine in on your face for suggesting that because it's so miserable. So I'd always have a challenge to lose weight after the fact. And I've done a lot of different diets that are a lot crazier than a GLP-1 shot. And they've been very effective. But then naturally, well, for me, I just kept having babies, so I kept putting the weight back on. I have good things to say about it. I know that it's possible that in 20 years, were you on a GLP-1 that blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
and then
right.
call this big conglomerate law? I don't know. Maybe that'll happen. But I'm healthier now that I've been in my knees don't creak. I notice when I go up the stairs that my knees don't crack and crackle. They would like crackle when I would go up the stairs. But I've lost 20 pounds. I still have, I'd like to lose another 20, but I don't know if that's, I don't like care about it. I'm not obsessed with it. And I'm not living a lifestyle that is unsustainable without the medication. So I am a yes, and I use them. Your situation is a little different.
It's a little bit weird because of the
you snort it.
diabetic component. Yeah. I just love it. I just like it that much.
Yeah.
I'm not really an early adopter of anything. I tend to kind of wait and see. But with this drug actually has been around for quite a while. It's not a new drug. It's new in the sense that people are starting to really take it, in a much more widespread
the prescription
way.
purposes originally for diabetics versus now just it not being off-label prescribed for weight loss.
Yeah, but I haven't really heard a whole lot of negative. Anecdotally, you always hear somebody somewhere said, I didn't have a good time on it, which is part of the poll today. You can say that. But I'm actually all for the shot. I've just never tried it. I've taken pills that do similar things, but it's more for diabetes than it is weight loss. So I'm a yes, but I haven't tried them because I've never done the shot.
What about you, Brad?
So I have never tried them, but I'm also a no, and I wouldn't try them. Now, I do reserve the right to have my mind changed as more data comes out and stuff like that, but I sit here right now, and I don't believe that there's a free ride, and this stuff seems too good to be true to me.
Let me ask you a question about the free ride thing, because that's something that there are a lot of people are out there like this is not a replacement for eating right and working out. If it helps you get there though, that's not a free ride. If it's an aid to losing weight or to being healthier or being able to manage things, I don't know. I take issue with the free ride comment because a lot of people say that, and I think it's I haven't tried all those other things.
I would.
Oh, and I'll let him talk because
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
challenging him.
Yeah, so here's where my argument would come in on that. What my understanding is of GLP-1s is they quiet the food noise. They make you not hungry when you would ordinarily be hungry. Is kind of what I've talked to doctors, my doctors about this. I've investigated, I've looked into it. I don't know, you said, and this is something that you'd have to say to me or explain to me. You said that you take these and it's helped you make it an adjustable or adjust your lifestyle, made it easier to do your lifestyle. I'm not arguing that you can't do that. I just know the people that I know that have been on it are basically, they stick themselves with a shot, they lose the weight. They don't care whether it's muscle or fat that they're losing. They're just losing weight. They're not adjusting diet and exercise.
But if you do that on a managed plan, I have an app that shows me how much weight I've lost and muscle I've gained. It's not just as simple to say that you're just sticking yourself with a shot and moving on with it. I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot more than that.
Some are, some aren't.
But some are. Some are. It's not like the idea that that it's just a vanity thing that people want to drop weight and that you can be mindless about. I just think it's a broad. Maybe that's good for you, but to apply that to everybody else who's taking the shot is, to me it's it's got to be more about you, not about what everybody else is doing. Do you have a health issue with it?
Yes, yeah. There's some health concerns that my cardiologist has brought up to me. Said this is the concerns that we have with this product. Concerns
for your issues for you
not,
specifically.
Not me specifically. These are issues that they've had with people in their office that have had these issues.
What kind of issues?
Cancer was one of them.
What kind of cancer?
It
Thyroid?
was a thyroid cancer.
Because that's a precursor. You're supposed to. They have to do a full blood panel. You should do a full blood panel. I mean, I did ahead of time and identify if you have any type of thyroid issues of any kind in your past. And then they tell you not to take it.
Another issue that I've heard was stomach paralysis. I don't remember which one, if it was Ozempic or tirzepatide or whichever one it was. But this individual had to go to the hospital. Their stomach stopped working, had all sorts of digestive issues, and it took a long time to get back to having normal functioning stomach. I know that people look at this and go, this is the miracle thing, and maybe it is if it fits your life and it's more healthy for you to lose this weight and take the risks that come along with this, then go for it. You know, being morbidly obese is not the good way. There's a lot more risk that come with that, but it's a risk versus reward thing. And I think that there are a lot of people on this that are using it just to lose the weight rather than, you know, they're fully capable of.
So when the question asks you how you feel about it, you first think about how everybody else is using it, as opposed to how you.
Well, that's something that I have to consider whenever I consider if it would be good for me. Like,
wouldn't it be your motivations behind it? Because
no.
I think if you were, if you were doing, let's say you were doing, can you take exercising too far? Can you do weight room incorrectly? Can you do healthy eating incorrectly? The existence of a GLP-1 is not it's not a all or nothing thing. I mean, it's an implementation, and just like anything else that you use, food, exercise, mindfulness, sleep, water intake, just cardio, whatever that might be, like all of those are implements in a healthy weight loss program.
Yeah. But like what you're pointing out there are the exceptions that prove the rule.
I don't understand what you mean.
What you're saying is yeah, you can take these things too far. Absolutely, you can, but that's the exception.
But that was your first response to this.
Yeah, and that's because I looked into it because I have to really examine what I do. I'm on all sorts of medications for my heart. There are all sorts of other things.
But there's a difference. But hold on a second. There's a difference between what you're saying right now about you and your particular health,
yes,
and your initial response, which is saying that people who use it are taking a free ride.
Yeah, and I stand behind that. I don't think that it's a good thing for you. Or not you specifically, but you in general.
I am people.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think that this is. I am always just very skeptical about things like this that come on that seem to be too good to be true because they always end up being too good to be true. And so when I say a free ride, I'm not saying you're doing the easy way out. What I'm saying is there
kind of what you're saying.
There is going to be a cost to be paid later on. There always is, and I don't know what that is. And right now, I haven't seen enough information that suggests to me that the risk is worth the reward of it.
Rick says, I had the gastric sleeve surgery 2 years ago. I'm also using the shot to maintain my weight loss. I also go to the gym every day. Let me scroll up here because there are a lot of people who are saying they agree with you. JC said, I'm with Brad as well. Scooter said, I'm hearing Annie say she eats healthy and exercises. How is that a free ride? Yeah, I agree with that, Scoot. Ender said, it's a weight loss substance, though. I'm actually with Brad. Dirk says, Brad, I'm right there with you. So give us your thoughts on this on the YouTube live chat. You can vote and tell us what you think there about if you support it or not. If you're like me, yes, I use them. Or if you're like Brad, no, and I wouldn't try them. And which one did you say? Yes, but you haven't tried them?
Yes, but I haven't tried it.
Because you kind of like almost dabbled.
Well, I am. I still kind of have a regimen, but it's not the shot.
And you know people who have used them.
I do actually. Yeah. That's part of my answer is that I know quite a few people who've had a lot of success with it.
Yep. 314-241-9797 as well if you want to text and if you want to agree with Brad or if you want to agree with me or just parse it out and be somewhere in the middle. We'd love to have your feedback. 314-241-9797. Lap says, easy way out. Thanks, Lap. Appreciate the support. Let's take a quick break here. The Wiggins America, what people in their 60s want to tell people in their 40s when we return. Point Pest Control, online at pestcontrol.com. I've been talking with the Mark Cox Morning Show. They had a whole bunch of pest problems. And they were telling me about how they reached out to Point Pest Control, and Point really came in and saved the day. Certainly with Kim, she had termites in her basement. She didn't even know that this was materializing the way it was, but she did the right thing, and she called Point Pest Control, and they came in and solved the problem for her. And Mark was dealing with some ants, and he reached out to Point Pest Control right away, and they did what they do. They made their home pest free. I'm a Premier Service Plan subscriber with Point Pest Control. Very grateful to be because I don't have these issues creep up. They don't hit me, 636-798-0023. They don't show up in my house. I don't deal with pests in my home because from a premier service plan position, they come out to my house quarterly. They treat the inside of the home. They treat the outside of the home, and they make it so that we don't have to have that pest problem there in our home. 636-798-0023, pointpestcontrol.com.
The Guns N' Hoses First Responders Soccer Cup is coming to Worldwide Technology Soccer Park on May 30th. Listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show, the Annie Frey Show, and the Mark Reardon Show. Be the 9th caller when we tell you when to call. You'll win a pair of tickets to see the Guns N' Hoses Soccer Cup.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe with an important message from Missouri 811. Every day, underground utilities like gas, power, water, sewer, and fiber internet keep Missouri running. These vital services are the backbone of our communities, but digging without contacting Missouri 811 can put them and you at risk. It's fast, it's free, and it's the law. Contact Missouri 811 before you dig.
Call 811 every dig, every time.
This ad is brought to you by Missouri 811.
All right, your chance to win some tickets to the Guns N' Hoses Soccer Cup ticket giveaway coming up at a little after 2:30 today. So keep it here or tune back in at that time if you want to win those tickets. It is $12.50 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Oh! Wiggins!
And if you take GLP-1s, you can have all the milkshakes and free ride into being skinny.
Is that true?
Yeah, you're going to be on them by the end of the show.
I might take the shot if I can have all the milkshakes I want, especially if they bring the boys to the yard.
And it brings the boys to the yard. Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't have any trouble with that anyway. It's kind of weird.
I know. Tell me about it. Okay, these are things that people in their 60s want to tell people in their 40s. In other words, they want to tell their 40-year-old selves these things. See if you agree with them. Number 1, stop waiting to enjoy your life.
Yes.
Is this something you've actively done in your 40s?
Well, I'm brand new to my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm having a midlife crisis. I think I have had a midlife crisis, but it really centers around my kids. It's like when you start seeing that they're older and aging, and you just know that you just are so confronted with time. It's debilitating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you just said something that I don't think I've ever realized in my life. I'm 44 years old. Am I supposed to have had a midlife crisis by now? I don't think I have.
I don't think you will.
I think that my midlife crisis happened at about 22 because I was like, well, they've always told me I'm not going to live very long with CF.
I think that it's very difficult at this part of my life, my husband and I together. I think it's very difficult to stop and smell the roses because I have a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 4-year-old and a job. And he has a job, and we have a mortgage, and yes, gas is $4.29, and yes, everything costs $1 billion right now, and yes, we're trying to get ahead. You're just trying to do all of the things right and exercise and eat right at the same time, and you got to prioritize certain things. You got to take care of yourself so that you live to be 50, 60, 70s, and 80s, and it's just a freaking lot, and it's hard to enjoy it from time to time. But I have decided, screw it. I'm going to do some things in my life. I'm going to say no to some things. I'm going to stop worrying about what other people think, which is probably on here, and enjoy what I can when I can. But I do feel like I have to kind of remind myself, like, you know what, this is pretty great.
Brad, you ever had a midlife crisis? You want one?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. More advice from people in their 60s to people in their 40s. Number 2, protect your health like it's your savings.
Yep.
I would guess that once you get to your 60s, you'd look back and go, oh, I wish I would have done this and this better.
Hand in hand with the GLP-1 stuff that I have just told you that I'm doing, which is our part of our YouTube poll about how you feel about them. I'm telling you, ladies, hormone replacement therapy for the freaking win. I mean, it's unbelievable how you don't have to feel. When you get to that place where you can reboot your body a little bit because your body is naturally changing. That in combination with the GLP-1 for me specifically has given me the ability to be happy back. Not an understatement.
Make time for both your kids and your parents.
I thought you were going to say your spouse.
No.
Yes.
No, because you're at that point where everybody is around you. You're kind of right in the middle.
Let's get a couple extra minutes, Brad. I think that that's the epicenter of why I, and maybe you also, live in Illinois when people are like, why aren't you moving? When I have the governor and senators of the state of Missouri being like, come on over. It's pretty obvious that there are a lot of reasons to move where I wouldn't have to change much of my lifestyle at all. But being able to be around my parents and around my husband's parents and my kids are with them. And we're just like all one. It's what I always wanted and we have it. And I can't imagine moving away so that I could have lower property taxes.
I know, but it would be really nice, though, wouldn't it?
No.
Lower property taxes?
No.
It would be great, Annie.
I don't think I would save money in the long haul for the babysitting I don't pay for.
Fair. Number 5, take the risk that scares you in a good way. People, this is obvious, but it says people in their 60s often talk about having some sort of regret, and they usually regret some sort of chance that they didn't take.
Lap is commenting on YouTube, invest early. When you're 40, it's almost a little too late to invest early, but it's never too late to start. Which one was this?
This was 5. Take the risk that scares you in a good way.
Yeah, I do think about that too. You know, when I flew with the Blue Angels, there is no part of me that wanted to do that. But it was so obvious from the people around me who I let know that it was a possibility that I would be crazy not to do it. I did it for them, and I'm really glad I did.
Number 6, live within your means, but do not postpone joy. That seems like very reasonable advice.
I think that you and I both do this by traveling.
Yes, we do.
We're spending money that could be invested, but we're spending money with investment. We're investing in time now with the little people that one day won't be little, and you can't get that back.
That's all I think of when I read this is there's money that I don't want to spend sometimes on a little vacation here or there, but I'm making myself do it.
Have you ever done it and come home and been like, I would rather have the money back?
If I have, it was a pretty crappy vacation.
Well, that's because you spent it on dumb things. I know which one you're talking about.
Last one is leave work at work more often.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard to do that when you got to follow the news all day. But, I mean, with what we do, it's kind of a 24/7 thing. I think a lot. I don't think that's different than what most people do. Of course, we're all married to teachers. Whether they're taking grading home or they just take the the mental load that comes with knowing some kids that are dealing with certain things or trying to figure out how to appease your coworkers or whatever it might be. I think that it's difficult in some. I think it's probably difficult in most to just be like, I clocked out, man. I'm out. You kind of can do that if you do like retail.
Well, it's more expected that the younger you are, you won't do that. I think even at a workplace.
What do you mean?
That if you're in your 20s and you're just getting into your career, your bosses, probably without even saying so, expect that you will go a little bit more of an extra mile to try to prove yourself to climb up.
I think that there's a quality and quantity question that needs to be answered there, because I think that we came into you're just going to work your butt off all the time. And now our young folk are like, what is your work-life balance plan?
Oh, yeah.
And they're interviewing, and it's like, you right now you're young and you don't have obligations, so now the balance is work a lot and hard. Maybe that's not the right way to go about it, but I say this to Ethan all the time. Take all the risks. Do all the things. I know that you are not destined to be an assistant producer of the Annie Frey Show. It's destined for things much greater than that. Take those risks now.
I say a similar thing to Ethan, but it's still here every day.
Don't do that. You'll run him away.
No, I'm glad that he is, but
That's
I'm
what it
also
sounded
laughing
like.
at it.
It's what it sounded like. Jim Talent on the Annie Frey Show next.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Ceasefire is holding. Elisa Brady, Fox News. That's the U.S. take on a temporary truce with Iran, even with new attacks in a critical waterway.
Iranian and U.S. vessels exchanged fire in the opening day of an American military operation to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But President Trump says Iran has not violated a weeks-old ceasefire yet.
They know what to do, and they know what to do. They know what not to do, more importantly, actually.
The president says Iran still wants to make a deal to end the war, warning the regime to do the smart thing.
They should wave the white flag of surrender.
Iranian military leaders are threatening to respond to U.S. attempts to reopen the strait.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Iranian officials have accused the U.S. of violating the ceasefire with Project Freedom. The United Arab Emirates responding to a second day of Iranian drones and missiles. Iran also using small, fast boats to attack ships.
What I'll say is it's more low, harassing fire right now. It feels like Iran is grasping at straws to try to do something across the southern flank.
Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says Iran's command and control structure is fractured. The rush to redraw congressional maps expands, with Tennessee's Republican-controlled legislature kicking off a special session.
In a redistricting effort that targets the state's only Democrat-held House seat in Memphis, Democrat Mayor Paul Young.
It was helpful to have a Democratic representative that was able to also advocate for our needs.
Tennessee House Speaker Republican Cameron Sexton.
I don't hear any Democrats complaining about those states doing that, those blue states, removing Republican seats.
In Louisiana, lawmakers are also making plans for new U.S. House districts after the Supreme Court struck down the state's current map.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Primary day in Indiana and Ohio, where Vice President Vance stopped to vote on his way to campaign for a GOP congressman in Iowa. America's listening to Fox News.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Here comes our latest cold front in the northwest flow. Temperatures will be in the low 50s by sunset. Still some showers and thunderstorms around from time to time, and a little bit windy. Tonight, some showers, some thunderstorms scattered about. Boy, it's chilly tonight, though, 46. Wednesday, maybe a spot leftover shower early. Otherwise, Wednesday's a dry and chilly day, partly sunny and 58. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get your AC ready for summer while helping shelter pets. Book your AC clean and check in April, and Air Comfort Service will donate a bag of pet food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary. AirComfortService.com/pet food.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM
Do you know,
Talk.
President Trump has directed U.S. Central Command to restart the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz under the umbrella of Project Freedom. To be clear, this operation is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury. Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration, with one mission: protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight, but Iran also cannot be allowed to block innocent countries and their goods from an international waterway.
That is the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, speaking this morning at a 7 a.m. press conference regarding the status of the Iran war. Now, we've heard the president articulate multiple times that we've beaten them, that we have decimated all of their capabilities. There is something going around about kamikaze dolphins. Maybe we'll get to that here in a minute. But the question is, with the Strait of Hormuz, is it open or is it not? We've got a plan from the Department of War and the commander-in-chief to reopen it, and I'm curious how it's going. Let's get to our next guest. Jim Talent joins us once again, former United States Senator from Missouri, Congressman as well, and chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council. Senator, thank you for being with us today. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back with you, Annie. And just for you, I watched that whole press conference.
Thank you.
Just so I'd be ready. But I also took notes, but now I can't find my notes.
Well, they're all in your head.
It's very common for me. I'm rather absent-minded.
That's all
but
right.
I'll do my best.
So talk to me about this. I think I'd like you to take it to the simplest form possible because, there's a ceasefire and then there isn't a ceasefire. There is a ceasefire, but there are also people shooting missiles. It's very confusing. A lot of people listening to this coverage, they want to know when it's going to end so that they don't have to pay $4.29 for gas or $4.79 in Illinois. What is happening in the Strait of Hormuz, and what is the goal? What's the end goal here so that we can start to get back to normal?
Yeah. So it is a separate and distinct operation in the sense that, we first eviscerated their military capabilities, their air defenses, et cetera. I won't go through all that. Then began throttling the Iranians economically in an attempt to force them to agree to terms on, our terms for a permanent end. And now what we're doing is a defensive operation to open up the strait, which in this context means precisely reducing, as precisely as I can say it, reducing the risk of passage to the point where these commercial freighters are willing to go. And it's just begun. So we haven't seen the results of it yet. They've escorted out a couple of American flag vessels. General Kane was asked, how many are we going to be escorting? And he says, I'll refer that to CENTCOM. That does tell me we will be escorting some. But basically, we've cleared a corridor, if there were any mines in it, on the south part of the strait. And we're imposing a dome of protection, I think Kane called it today, using naval assets, primarily guided missile destroyers, and then fighters, helicopters, and unmanned aircraft to provide reassurance to this community, the shipping community, that they can transit the strait safely.
So my understanding is that the United States is not relying on the Strait of Hormuz for our own oil, that we are drilling and producing quite a bit here stateside. And then I hear the president also say that there are many people who are being retrained to purchase their oil from us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this resetting the table? Is that to the commerce of oil?
Yeah. The longer term consequences are going to be very good for our economy, because after this incident, you can imagine supply chains shifting to rely more on a secure supply, which is the American supply. But that doesn't get oil prices down in the short term. So what we want to do is get freighters transiting. Now, here's what I expect, and I'm not an oil man, right? I actually served with some people who were, but I'm not. So what I expect to have happen is, as people perceive the risk level dropping, and the markets perceive that, the futures price of oil will go down. In other words, the market will start to settle down, and that will bring down the price that we're all paying at the pump. Whether it will take the risk entirely out of the market, I don't know. And how long it will take to convince people, I don't know that either. I haven't looked at the price of oil today. But this is going to be a short-term operation. We've done this before. Opening up the strait. That was about 30 years ago. And we kept the Red Sea. We were doing the same thing when we were bombing the Houthis a year ago with regard to the Red Sea. So I've said all along, we can open the strait when we want to. I fully expect this is going to work. But, when it's going to reduce oil prices, how much, that I don't know.
I'm going to, I don't know if this is a faux pas, but I'm going to bring up something another guest said on my show and get your thoughts on it, because I can't stop thinking about it. I had Fred Fleitz on, he's for America First Policy Institute. And his suggestion was that we should just declare victory. That the idea of victory being on the other end of a negotiation, there's no point in what we're doing right now that Iran is going to go, oh my gosh, you guys are right, let's negotiate, and that we're going to be able to take their word for it. There's no trust between the United States and Iran. They don't even know who their leadership is. And if their leadership presents themselves, there might be people within the country that disagree with them and take them over. And then the negotiation is null and void, I suppose. Yeah. I'm wondering if that idea that we should just, if people want to hear victory declared, is it too soon to do that? Are there things that still need to happen for the United States to effectively be able to say, we won? Because what I hear the president say in press conferences every chance he gets is that they've won. They've decimated everything that they need to decimate, and it's finished. I just don't really know what's left to, like, where are the T's to cross and the I's to dot to declare victory.
Yeah, and you want this to be over. I mean, we all want war to be over. So Fred is right, in the sense that there are one of two possible endpoints here. One of them is either regime collapse or the regime giving in. That's one category of possibilities. The other is that once we have the strait open, this is going to be the last act, I think, in the military part of the play, if you will. Once the strait is open, we're going to go back to, if they don't agree to anything and they don't collapse, we're going to go back to a kind of status quo ante, where we are pressuring the regime economically, except it's going to be on steroids. Okay? In other words, the fighting will be over, at least with the Iranians. We will continue throttling them economically and see what happens. Oil prices will go down, so the world economy will return to normal, or basically what it was before this. I think that's what you're talking about. Now, in terms of victory, let's talk in terms of what the objects of the mission were. The immediate object was to eliminate their defensive and offensive military capabilities. That has been accomplished. We also would like to I mean, as the president said from the beginning, we'd like to get regime change or regime, what's your word for it? Regime alteration?
Reconfiguration.
Reconfiguration,
I think.
Yes. So he's playing for that possibility, and he'll continue to do it after this exercise with the Strait is over, because we'll just continue throttling them economically. So I am very satisfied with the outcome. I don't like the high oil prices, but I'm also very confident that we will get them down. It's not going to take years. And I think this is a huge victory for the United States. I really do. I mean, and we're going to enjoy the benefits of it for some time to come, because the region is going to be so much more peaceful, and that will make America so much more secure. We have to understand the Iranians, for 47 years, the Islamic Republic's been a deadly enemy of the United States, attacking us, wanting to attack us even more if they had the power to do it, and that has been removed.
We're speaking with Senator Jim Talent about the conflict in Iran. I think about other criticisms of what could happen, not what has happened yet, but what could have happened. And this is from my friends, people I know personally, and then also echoed by pundits who I hear on, cable news that are in the same position. These are people who fought in the Great War on the global war on terror. They lost people. They knew people. They saw people who died by those who were funded by Iran, by terrorists who were trained in Iran. They take the lives, the friends, the people who they knew. They know their names. They knew their families. Those people lost their lives, and they blame Iran for it. Those are the people who are out there saying, go get the job done, do it all the way, and then get the heck out of there. We're not there to win hearts and minds. Get the job done and get out. Do you feel as though that is the plan of this administration, or is there a reason why that shouldn't be the plan for this administration?
It's absolutely been the plan. Have they said to you why they think it's not the plan? I mean, and I'm not trying to be provocative here, because it's been crystal clear to me from the beginning that we wanted, again, at minimum, to destroy their capability to keep doing the things your friends understand they were doing, and from which we've suffered all these losses. And then, if possible, if that clears the way to either get an overthrow of the regime or collapse of the regime or regime reconfiguration, we would do that, because that's an even more complete victory.
Senator Taylor, I want to answer your question about what my friends say, because there's an answer to that. It's because nobody who's been in charge, who's been the commander in chief, nobody has had the guts to go all the way to finish the job and get the heck out of there.
Well, I'm sensitive, because I've been very supportive of the president through this whole thing. And I think history is going to look back on it as an absolutely brilliant exercise in the coordinated use of military, economic, and diplomatic power to advance the security of the United States. Now, I think one of the reasons people are concerned or in doubt here, and this is going to balance this out, because Trump's strength is not the 10 or 15-minute Oval Office speech behind the Resolute desk, calmly and thoroughly explaining what he wants to do and why he wants to do it.
That's an understatement.
He has said all of this over and over again. Now, some of it, to be fair to the president, some of this is tactical. In other words, he doesn't want to say everything that's on his mind. But could he have done a better job? Maybe right at the beginning. I remember he stood in front, behind the podium with a Make America Great cap again. And if you read what he said, it's exactly what I've said to you. And when I listen to the military experts and others on the podcast, people who go back and canvass every statement he's made, what they will say is he's been very, very consistent in what the goals are. And so have Rubio, and so has Hegseth and all the others. But, it's not like we used to see with Reagan, right? And we went, okay, we get it now. But that doesn't mean the substance of it hasn't been, I just think, really exceptional. So now we have to get the Strait open. I think the first time I said that to you was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we're doing it now. And then a question I would ask if I was at the press conference is why we didn't do this 2 weeks ago. And I suspect it has something to do with the fact that the president wants other nations to be responsible for this going forward, which I understand entirely.
Yeah. That's kind of the key factor, is to not feel like you have to be the police after the fact.
Yeah.
You need other people to have buy-in. I do want to ask you about when we went in last summer and, took the B-52s in there and hit the refrigerator door sized target and blew up their nuclear ability. We did that. We declared victory. We said we incapacitated them in incapacitated their nuclear facilities and systems. And then we had to go back and we had to do more because President Trump says they need to not have a nuclear bomb. Was there an overstatement in the success of that first mission last summer? Or did we potentially find out more intel in between then and when they were sitting at the negotiation tables and the Iranians said, we've got enough for 11 nukes right now, in the face of Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff? Why did we go in last summer and say we denuclearized them and then need to go back and do it again? And now do we need to go back and get the uranium that we buried under all the rubble?
Right, exactly. I think it's a little bit of the first, an overstatement, which is not beyond Donald Trump to do, right? I think it is mostly the second. Because after that strike, I read, for example, David Albright, he runs the foremost institute on nuclear proliferation, and I read his report and his estimation after Operation Midnight Hammer. And he didn't say it was destroyed, but he said it's been set back years and years and years, buried under the rubble of Fordham and Natanz. And you've heard me say that?
Yes.
So I think... But I don't think, no, it wasn't destroyed. I think what did happen was it became pretty clear that they were not going to negotiate, that they were trying to reconstitute their capabilities, that the Chinese were helping them, and that they were also reconstituting their ballistic missile, anti-air, and drone capabilities. And so my guess is if I could talk for 15 minutes with the president, when he saw the protesters hit the street, he realized how vulnerable the regime was, that we were at a period of maximum overmatch. In other words, when they were their weakest, we were the strongest because we could get forces in the region and we had the Israelis with us, and now was the time to take care of it. And I think he was right. The longer you wait, and this is one of the reasons I've said, Annie, the arguments against the war based on risk of retaliation are valid, but there are also arguments for the war, because I'd rather take that risk now when it's minimal because they're so weak than wait a couple of years until they've reconstituted a lot of these capabilities and then have to face them. So that's the reason I think that this was such a strategically smart thing to do and really a presidential thing to do. And I've had people say, well, the politics of this is bad because gas prices are up. And my response has always been, I'm a politician, believe me, okay? But I don't want a president who will fail to take the necessary decisions because he's worried about midterms 6-7 months from now. And I don't think you do either.
If you have time for one more question here, because I hear this a lot as well. I hear a lot of people on the left suggest that if President Trump is successful here, he'll get us back to the JCPOA, which was the Obama negotiated plan with Iran. Tell me why you're grumbling.
No.
Tell me.
The JCPOA was a joke.
Tell me why.
I mean, in the first place, what everybody always cite is it was sunsetted. In other words, they got the sanctions relief up front. And in return for what was supposedly a pause or cessation in their nuclear program, but they didn't allow inspections. So, first of all, they were cheating on it. You knew that was going to be the case. Second, it didn't keep them from building more centrifuges so that they could race to a bomb anytime they wanted to race to a bomb. So it wasn't even the terms of it were not adequate. It was not verifiable. And they cheated on it, as you would expect. It was a really bad deal. Now, if they do come to the table and give us a deal, I'll just make book. It's going to be, we get to go in and get the uranium. We get to inspect wherever we want. It'll basically be the Libyan approach, where you give it up, and we know you've given it up. No.
Do we need to do we need to excavate that uranium?
That's their fig leaf for saying, "Oh, the JCPOA took care of it." No, it didn't.
Do we need to go get the
We
uranium?
have all this money. We sent them billions of dollars, and they used it to fund building ballistic missiles and fund their proxies. No.
You summed it up at the very beginning by saying it was a joke. I could have just gone with that.
I'm going on too long.
No, you're not. Real quick, do we need to go get that uranium? Do we need to remove it?
Well, I will say yes, because I think people who are read into intelligence, you and I, are not read into, think we need to. I mean, if I was sitting there and absent some pretty strong intelligence to contrary, I think I would be inclined to say, I don't know how they get this stuff when it's buried underneath the rubble of a mountain. But the other thing is, we want them to surrender on our terms. It's a way for them to show, yeah, we really are going to start playing ball with you going forward. And so I think it's also sort of a test, if you will. And in any event, look, if they don't agree, as I said, we're going to finish this business with a Strait, and then we will go back to the status quo ante with an Iran that is now toothless and highly insecure at home. And that'll be a huge plus.
All right. Well, thank you, Senator, so much for your time and your insight. We love our conversations with you. So many of our listeners comment on them as well. So thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome, Annie.
Take care. Bye-bye. Senator Jim Talent, former United States Senator from Missouri, as well as Congressman, chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council, calls the JCPOA a fig leaf joke. Take that to the bank. Let's break. When we come back, we'll get some of your feedback from the text line at 314-241-9797. How do you feel about GLP-1 weight loss medicines, the fat shot or the skinny shot? We're talking about whether you like them, yes or no, and if you've tried them, yes or no. I am on them, and I like them, and I'm very excited to be on them, and they've helped me lose over 20 pounds. Ryan says that he dabbles, and Brad says it's a free ride, and he is not for it. So you can text us at 314-241-9797 and tell us what you think, who you agree with, and vote on the YouTube live chat poll. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. If you are thinking about improving your loan on your home, whether it's your initial mortgage, maybe you're looking to buy a home, if you are looking to refinance your current home, Stewie is waiting for your phone call or your text message, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Let me tell you about the Bagel Loan, which is only available with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. You get to get a new home loan, a new mortgage on a new home you're purchasing, or you can refinance your current mortgage. You can cash out refinance your current mortgage and pay nothing in closing costs. He calls it the Bagel Loan because he loves New York and he loves bagels. And it looks like a zero, which means you have to remember that way that you pay zero in closing costs when you go through that loan. That's going to save you potentially thousands of dollars on this process. Talk to Stewie about how to improve your situation today. 314-324-4440. He's an incredibly quick close. If you know that you want to go through this process, like less than 2 weeks, give him a call. Tell him Annie sent you. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to hear you.
Hey, Dad, isn't it good to see ya?
Yep, but with smoke alarms, we need to hear them. If one alarm is downstairs, you might not hear it upstairs.
At school, everyone hears the fire alarm.
That's why we install hardwired smoke alarms that all go off together, just like school.
Smoke alarms done the right way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Biz-5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis. An office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbiz-.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
Honestly, before this, I had never heard of Spencer Pratt. I am concerned and feel about him is that I feel like he's exploiting the grief of people in the Palisades. And
it's the most insane, psycho, diabolical thing I've heard in a minute, but it's not shocking. Yeah, I'm not sure if Karen Bass forgot that she let my house burn down and my parents' house burn down, and I had actual neighbors burn alive across the street from my childhood home. The only grief is my grief, my community's grief, that I initially started this fight on behalf of. Houses to burn to the ground, 12 people to burn alive, and then actively cover it up, get caught covering it up, and then say that the LA Times is lying, even though they have the emails where she's altering the after action report, which, as far as I'm concerned, is obstruction of justice. So it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I think that the Spencer Pratt run for mayor is one of the most refreshing things that I've seen in politics in as long as I can remember, maybe my life. Here you've got this reality television star, Spencer Pratt, the OC. Remember that, folks? Some of you do. Most of you don't, likely. But it was reality TV when reality TV was peak. It was when reality TV and paid-for drama, highly invested television shows were still being produced, and you were still able to kind of dabble in all sorts of different... Now everything is reality. Game shows, reality television, talent competitions. Spencer Pratt, when Karen Bass, the current mayor of Los Angeles, who's running for re-election, when she laughs and chuckles and it's like, I haven't even heard of him. I didn't even know him till he... So what? As if celebrity in Los Angeles is the only thing that matters. Karen Bass, that's your freaking problem. That's the issue that is affecting your candidacy right now, is that there are people whose names you don't know, who you haven't learned, who watched their houses burn because you didn't maintain the area and you didn't put water in the fire hydrants to put out the fires. There's actual real suffering on a super hyper local granular level. The problems in Los Angeles, and I would say, the problems in Los Angeles are not the problems that are in St. Louis. I'm sure there's some congruency there. But the problems in Los Angeles are specific to that place, specific to that region. And Karen Bass has been MIA. And when she diminishes Spencer Pratt's emotion tied to losing his home in these fires, and what was the number? I asked you the other day, what on that Joe Rogan Spencer Pratt interview, Spencer Pratt said only 14 houses have been rebuilt. And Joe Rogan says, are you serious? Just 14? He goes, I'll be generous just to say so the fact checkers can't come after us. I'll say 16 and I'll overshoot it. How many houses burned down in the fires?
6,833.
An overestimate of 16 homes have been rebuilt, and Karen Bass's response to the challenge that she's facing from Spencer Pratt is, I haven't even heard of him before this. Who is this guy? If he's anybody whose home has burned down and has been a complete and total victim, not just of an actual fire, but of complete and total government neglect, it shouldn't matter. If Spencer Pratt continues to do what he's doing, he's running as a no-name person who is representing those thousands of people who have been screwed over by their local government, their state government, who have not been helped out, who are set up to fail from top to bottom. I think the fact that Spencer Pratt is actually a serious candidate for the mayorship in Los Angeles is mind-blowing to me, but it is heartwarming that in Los Angeles, California, that his level of common sense, he's approaching it correctly. He is about the issues that are local to the area that he wants to be in governance over. And I think that it is like everybody about face to what's going on in Los Angeles and how Spencer Pratt is handling this, and pay attention. It's the right way.
I just don't know how you could look at that many people around you, because it's not like, oh, this is happening on the West Coast and we're on the East Coast. These are people right there, and this is a mayorship. This isn't even like a governorship. This is people in your community. Their houses have been burned down, and you have put up every possible block to allow the houses, just their house, to be rebuilt. And you think that you're doing a good job? I just don't understand the level of disconnect in somebody's brain that they could think, this is great for me.
Let's dip in and out of his presentation here a little bit, because you don't have to be from Los Angeles to understand the extent of frustration and anger, even some kind of rage at how the system works against the people who fund it. That'd be you, the taxpayer, certainly in Los Angeles, or Spencer Pratt.
Hey, Los Angeles, are you aware that socialists in LA city government are stealing your money?
We just finished doing a tour of the site with the Bureau of Engineering, the Bureau of Contract Administration, and our contractors to check out the installation of the 16 new modular homes that will include 64 interim housing beds. Northeast New Beginnings was only possible because my team and I worked to get a grant from the state, $16 million to build 64 new beds in Council District 1 of interim housing.
I'm sorry, what? $16 million for 64 beds?
$16 million to build 64 new beds?
That's $250,000 per bed. So let's forget the fact that the DEA reports that 90% of the homeless population in LA are hardcore criminal drug users.
Especially in Los Angeles, there's a lot of it. How many people are using illicit drugs in the homeless community? I would say it's incredibly high.
20%, 30%?
Of the overall problem?
Yeah.
Over 90%.
And let's pretend for a second that these people just had some medical bills come in all at once that made them lose their job, and that they're a single mom and they just need to float 3 to 6 months of paychecks to get back on their feet, 3 to 6 months of the median income, like $15,000 to $25,000. We're spending $250,000 per bed.
So here you have Spencer Pratt. There's more, and we'll get to more of it. You have him articulating what the issue is here. Who is funding what? What is the outcome? What's the original problem? And what's the solution? To his point, and he goes back to this again and again in this video, $16 million in a state grant. So this is coming from the California tax base. $16 million to provide 64 beds. And you've got her walking around a site, like a work site, going, woohoo, yay us! $16 million. 64 times. I mean, the fact that she got the 16 mil is the win. That's the end. That's the completion of the win. You've secured $16 million. Who is out there right now to judge and determine whether that was a good use of $16 million?
I'm not trying to bring Donald Trump into this, but people make fun of him when he does things like, hey, I just saved you $16 million on cleaning out the Washington Monument pool. That's the kind of stuff that leaders should be doing, is saving at every turn.
You could just give them that money and they'd be set for 5 years. What the hell are we doing? These crazy socialists on the city council are legitimately just stealing our tax dollars and doling it out to their friends, and they rub it in your face too. She jokes about covering up the graffiti with a nice painting.
And obviously we're going to get rid of the graffiti and replace it with a nice paint job to make sure it's welcoming for everybody.
Make sure it's welcoming.
Well, what about the people who appreciated the art?
Yes, what about the people who love the graffiti?
How much money did they spend? There's probably government-funded spray paint.
It needs to be a program for them to feel welcome.
Yeah, like an art program.
Yeah, like an art program.
And then
Meanwhile, fire victims in the Palisades are getting their burned out lots vandalized by commie street animals. All of your neighborhoods are riddled with tagging and garbage. No help for you, but we're going to spend $16 million for 64 homeless people to not have to endure the hardship of seeing a bit of graffiti out.
Dude, Spencer Pratt for whatever he wants. There is a junior in high school, Annie, not Frey, because I wasn't a Frey then, sitting there having no idea what's going to happen in 25 years. That I'm going to be like, Spencer Pratt for mayor? Are you kidding me? I don't even think I was allowed to watch the OC, nor did I fight for the opportunity to do it. But Spencer Pratt was a brat in that. He was a villain. He was a reality TV villain, intentionally so. You were not supposed to like Spencer Pratt. And when he's out there talking like this and he's saying, listen, Los Angeles is not a place that people want to live. It's not a place where you go to put down roots and raise a family. It's a place where you go to try to make it, and then when you've made it, you get the heck out of there, which is what we see over and over and over again with people going to Reno, over to Las Vegas, potentially going to Arizona, Texas, Florida, when they've finally had enough of it, they go that far, maybe Georgia. But Spencer Pratt is connected to these people. When he's saying, when he's putting something together that says, listen, there's a looping problem here. Homelessness. I sent you a B, which I'm just going to scoop right now. It said something like, California homeless declare victory over Gavin Newsom's war on homelessness.
That's right.
And it's like, oh, that's really tragically true, because it's not gotten any better. Karen Bass hasn't made it any better in Los Angeles. You've got leftist, far left progressive policies top to bottom in the state of California, and all of the things that they declare war on are worse. You know what they do to combat the drug problem? They give you safe places to inject. They provide you the means with which to do it. And then they create campaign commercials who are like, guys, we got $16 million from the California taxpayer for 64 beds. Yay.
And that's a win.
Look what we're doing. We're so good. See, government, it works.
Inside their $250,000 bed, 64 people. There are 64,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. This psycho-socialist is bragging about spending $16 million of your money to cater to 0.01% of the homeless problem.
$16 million.
You think these socialists have any interest in solving this? Of course not. Who's vetting who goes into these housing units? Are they drug testing? Are these just going to turn into $250,000 air-conditioned fentanyl tents? Why not just give them the money? I'll tell you why. Because these corrupt DSA politicians can't steal it if they just give it as direct aid. Just like the fire aid scam. They'll never give an individual direct financial assistance. It always has to be laundered through one of Austin Miller's or Nithya Raman's NPOs so their friends can do God knows what with it.
So now he's getting to the crux of the problem. And this is why I said at the very beginning, you have to identify what is the problem that needs to be solved. Because there's going to be a whole roller coaster of twists and turns and inversions before you get to the end where you ask yourself, did we solve the problem? What is the problem that they're selling us that they're trying to fix here? Of course, it's homelessness. It's a place to lay your head at night, sheltered, so that you can get sleep. in a safe place. That's the problem that, as he talks about, 64,000 people in Los Angeles are experiencing homelessness. That's the hook. That's what's supposed to make you go, yeah, that is a problem. Of course it's a problem. Obviously it's a problem. We're no strangers to it here in St. Louis, Missouri. I drive across the Stan Musial Bridge. I think you guys both do too, every single day. It's not just one tent city. I don't know if you've ever come across the bridge and you've seen the tent city that right when you come off of the Stan span, that tent city that's to your left. Look to your right, folks. There's another one over to the right. It's a little bit deeper into North City. You can see it though. You think those are the only ones? They're not. What is it that's going to solve that problem? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need to spend tens of thousands of dollars, $250,000 per person over there so that they can have a nice place to rest their head. Just down the street, St. Patrick's Center has a place where people can rest their head. Pretty sure you have to be clean when you go in there and do it, and those people have elected not to. Now, in the state of California, there are many places where they've created situations where people who are drug-riddled can continue to do that, but do it safely. Safely for whom? There's an obvious problem that needs to be solved here right now, but the problem for the people solving it isn't actually ending homelessness. Good grief. If they ended it, how would they launder the money through all the NGOs that line their pockets and get them reelected once again? One of Ryan's favorite topics, fraud. The way money comes out of our government into places that are supposed to be serviceable to the American individual who needs a little extra assistance. But what ends up happening is that money ends up funding the bureaucracy just for that NGO to exist. And it doesn't end up solving homelessness or drug abuse problems or any of these things. It's a racket. It's a scheme. It's a scam. And what I see Spencer Pratt doing in Los Angeles, California, of all places, is he's calling it out and he's calling it socialism. Boy, that's spot on. The connection there is accurate.
Goes to these companies that make these $250,000 units. It's all a scam. And notice, this isn't just Angelinos that are being robbed. She's using state grants.
My team and I worked to get a grant from the state.
So pay attention, folks. Socialists in Los Angeles are everybody's problem. Goblins like Eunice are gobbling up all your tax dollars, and they are coming for more. This is how socialism starts. Vague platitudes that feel nice and soften the language so the real problems never get addressed. It's the velvet glove for the iron fist. These are just people experiencing homelessness.
People experiencing homelessness?
Why do they always talk like this? Why can't they just talk like a normal person? Because socialists always lie. Always. We need to end this failed experiment and put a stop to this fraudulent waste of our tax dollars. If you live anywhere in California, you need to support my campaign for mayor of Los Angeles, because this theft of your tax dollars will only continue. Go to mayorpratt.com and help me put an end to this scam.
Okay, so here's the thing that I think that Pratt is doing that is the most brilliant of all. Who is Spencer Pratt? He's running as a Republican, right? In Los Angeles. He's not running as a Democrat, and he's not running against Democrats. He's running against socialism in this. And that makes 100% sense, because he's going to need people who are proud Democrats to vote for him if he's going to become the mayor of Los Angeles. Isn't that kind of what we're all talking about? Isn't that kind of a national concern that we have right now? It's not I always refer to them as the Thanksgiving table Democrats. It's not Uncle George, who has worked in the union his whole life and is Democrat or die, because that's what he's grown up with. Chances are he is as disgusted with the current state of the Democrat Party as you are, but he's not going to go right. He's not going to go red in order to fix that problem, at least maybe not publicly. Isn't the biggest concern that we're facing right now the irrational nature of the far left that is in control of the Democrat Party? It's not the people in your life who were big fans of Bill Clinton or really liked the idea of Barack Obama. That's not who the main conservative opponent is right now. It's what Spencer Pratt is saying. It's the socialists. And you got to say that real loud, because right now in New York City, America's greatest city, most people would say, in New York City, there is a socialist who is in charge and is debilitating that city under the policies that he very, very vocally made known when he was running for that office. He did not bait and switch. You cannot look at Zoran Mamdani in New York City running for mayor there and say, well, it's not what is it, Spanberger in Virginia? Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
No. Is that Spanberger in Virginia? She ran as a centrist. She's not governing as one at all. Mamdani, you got what you see when you elected him, and he's implementing his mayorship as he said he was going to do. This is a real threat to American society, to American governance. Socialism is very, very mainstream now, more than it ever has been in my life that I know of. And it's got to be called out. And Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles, of all places, I think he's doing a fantastic job. Let's take a break. The YouTube poll, we're asking you how you feel about GLP-1 weight loss medicines. Yes, you like them. No, you don't. We want to know if you've tried them. If you vote in the YouTube poll, that is anonymous. And if you text us 314-241-9797, you can leave us your thoughts as to whether or not you think they're a good thing or not. GLP-1s, what do you got? We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website. You can call it 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. It's wet. It's rainy. Gosh, yesterday was quite a rainy day. Do you get that pit in your stomach about water getting into your basement? I hope not. I hope that's not something you're dealing with. Maybe it's a home that you own and you just need to get it solved once and for all. I encourage you to give Matt Hayes the opportunity to visit your basement, to look at what you're dealing with, and tell you how he can fix it. Home Shield Foundation Repair brings a lifetime warranty to their basement waterproofing services. They back them up. They are very good at what they do, the very best here in St. Louis. And they're good people. I think that matters. Matt Hayes is a local guy. He and his family own and operate this business right here out of St. Louis. And the team that he has, they're loyal and they are fantastic at what they do. So if you have a foundation problem, if you have a concern with water creeping into your basement, 314-271-9900. 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-2013 or biglou.com.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-535-1582. 800-535-1582. 800-535-1582. Again, that's 800-535-1582.
A reminder, the Guns N' Hoses Soccer Cup is coming to Worldwide Technology Soccer Park on May 30th, and we're going to give some tickets away in a little over a half an hour, so probably just about after 2:30 is when we'll tell you when to call. Stick around for that. It is 1:52. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. That YouTube poll, we're asking you how you feel about GLP-1 weight loss medicines. We saw the president today reinstitute the presidential fitness test, surrounded by a lot of very fit people. If you were an overweight person, would you just kind of opt out of being in the room at that point?
Yeah, I definitely would not go in the Oval Office with a bunch of fit people. Ever.
If you ask the left, Donald Trump is an overweight person.
That's right.
I mean, he might be, but he seems like he's doing pretty
He's
well
also
for
80
himself.
years old.
Yeah. The text line, 314-241-9797, if you want to tell us your thoughts on this. I said that I am taking GLP-1s, and I'm very happy to be doing it. It is. I've been using it for a year now, and it's been incredible for my ability to become healthier, to be more active, to not have creaky knees, and to stay up with my health. Ryan, you said that you use something that's similar to it, but you're not taking a shot. You know people who do, and you're not opposed to them, but you're not doing them.
I'm not only not opposed to them, I'm actually very much in favor of the shot.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen really good results.
So you're a yes, but haven't tried them. I'm a yes, but haven't tried them. And I keep saying Brad called it a free ride, and he's arguing with me in the break that he didn't call it a free ride.
It's not a free ride. I said there are no free rides. So people
you said
are,
that in
people are not
reaction to this.
People are approaching this as if there will be no consequences for this. No
What
consequences would be a free ride. The people
what
that
people? Capital P people?
everybody that's celebrating this is some sort of miracle drug.
So me.
Well, if you're one of those people, I mean that's up to you. I'm not pointing you out because I don't know what you think about that as
I
far
just
as
told
that
you
goes.
what I think about
okay,
it.
so you think it's a miracle drug?
I think it's been a miracle drug for a lot of people.
Okay, so
But you're saying no.
There are no free rides. There will be consequences. The chickens will come home to roost. There will be something that'll pop up. And
Do you think
that.
if somebody has had success on it that it is a free ride?
It depends on.
So you're saying no. It's there's context to it. There's nuance.
There's always nuance to everything.
I'm just saying because you're saying.
But you're taking the nuance out of it and making me look like some sort of jerk.
No, I'm just asking you to clarify your opinion.
On the text line, 314-241-9797. Steve here. That's actually how the text starts. It says
Steve here. His name's probably Bob.
It says, started GLP-1 17 months ago at 410 pounds. I guess this is probably in the vein of the argument that we're having right now, which is he said he was at 410 pounds. He's now at 242 pounds.
Life-changing.
This shot works, but hang on.
Mhm.
He says, I'm almost 64, and I've never been in better shape. I work out hard five times weekly now and walk my doodles at least 10 miles a week.
I'm assuming those are dogs, but you can never know.
Maybe he's drawing things and walking them around
Annie
to show
here.
people.
And what I hear Steve saying is this was the thing that got him to where he could lose the weight.
That sounds like what he's saying. Now, there's been a few people text, and I don't know if I'll find them all because there's a lot of texts.
Chris says, Brad, stop being a jerk. LOL. And Ender said, Brad's no jerk. Annie's being a jerk.
Okay.
With a big smiley face.
Well, I'm looking for a couple who said that they actually had side effects. Let me see if I can find them.
I have had side effects on
you?
Ozempic. The
Okay.
semaglutide made me nauseous. Tirzepatide didn't. And it was much more effective for me.
Yeah, there's a couple in here that have had side effects. One person said that they themselves did not have any side effects and are not opposed to trying the shot, but their wife did and ended up in the hospital. So he's fine with it, even though his wife was not.
There's a big difference, too. There's a lot of different ways you can access the GLP-1s. You can do it through an online protocol. You can put some information in online, and you can get it, and you can lose weight on it. You can put some information in online. Folks, you can get abortion pills online. You can have them shipped to your door.
I don't recommend that either.
You can get abortion pills shipped to your house to have an abortion. So obviously, just because you can doesn't mean it's great. But at the same time, if you listen to, was that Steve here?
Yeah.
Steve here says
Steve here.
it helped him drop half his weight. Doesn't sound like a free ride to me, Brad.
Hey, this person says I would try it. My wife took Mounjaro and ended up in the hospital for 3 days with severe side effects. She was puking and crapping all over the place, but I will try it.
Oh, no. We'll be right back. The Retirement Advisory Group, my friends Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig, they're really nice people. They're fun to hang out with. That's besides the point. I mean, it does matter when you're trying to look to somebody to say, gosh, can I retire when I really want to? You have the opportunity to sit down and learn about the Retirement Advisory Group. When you call 314-993-9494, you can set up a no-cost, no obligation review of your retirement. I really encourage you to give them the opportunity to talk to you about what you're doing so far and how you can get to that place where you have peace of mind, where you're not worrying about, gosh, will what I have last me for the rest of my life? The Retirement Advisory Group will put you in a position to be able to answer that question with confidence. Most people who meet with them have that same question about wanting to be able to retire and to make sure that everything they've worked for, that they've saved, is going to last them. Get the answers today. Call them at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
A mass shooting in Texas. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Police just confirming a shooting in Carrollton, north of Dallas, where 5 people were shot near a shopping mall, killing 2. But police say it was not a random act. The victims knew the suspect, possibly through a business relationship, and that suspect is in custody. It's day 2 of Project Freedom, the U.S. effort to get ships moving through a critical waterway. The Pentagon says that's separate from Operation Epic Fury, rejecting Iran's claims it violates a ceasefire. Fox's Jennifer Griffin.
Secretary Hegseth described the operation to open the Strait of Hormuz as temporary. Yesterday, 2 U.S. Navy destroyers crossed through the strait and had to defend themselves against incoming missiles, drones, and Iranian fast boats. They were successful. General Kane said the strait is much calmer today and told reporters that Iran has fired at commercial vessels 9 times, seized 2 container ships, and attacked U.S. forces 10 times since the ceasefire agreement on April 8th.
General Kane, the Joint Chiefs Chair, telling reporters that at this point, Iran's actions are below the threshold for restarting major combat operations. President Trump says Iran knows what to do and what not to do, also still insisting Iran wants to make a deal and can't have a nuclear weapon.
They would have taken over the Middle East. Now they're trying to survive, and they won't be successful unless they make a deal. Oh, if they don't make a deal, they won't be successful. It'll go very quickly, and methodically. Believe me, it'll be very easy.
The president also telling reporters Iran plays games. Iranian media reporting tough talk from Iran's president, calling it impossible to surrender to unilateral demands from the U.S. Pope Leo says people are free to criticize him, but that he's preaching the gospel after President Trump accused the Pope of endangering people by criticizing the conflict with Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is scheduled to meet with the Pope later this week, and at this hour, Rubio is scheduled to lead a White House briefing. America is listening to Fox News.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Here comes our latest cold front in the northwest flow. Temperatures will be in the low 50s by sunset. Still some showers and thunderstorms around from time to time, and a little bit windy. Tonight, some showers, some thunderstorms scattered about. Boy, it's chilly tonight, though, 46. Wednesday, maybe a spot leftover shower early. Otherwise, Wednesday's a dry and chilly day, partly sunny and 58. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan. And be ready for the first heat wave. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We've got a hot one today on the YouTube live chat poll. We're asking you how you feel about those GLP-1 weight loss medicines. Can you look up the standards for the presidential fitness test?
I can, but
I was going to do that, but I forgot to.
There's a lot of hotness going on in here. Everything's hot. This is a hot question.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because that's the way hot people talk.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Someone told you that once,
no,
didn't they?
trust me. I've met tons of hot people, and they all sound like that at the gym.
Are they all men?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you do bring all the boys to the yard, as we established a little
That's
bit
who
earlier
talks
in
to
the
me
show.
at the gym. Hot guys.
Do they know they're hot, or is that just your interpretation of the situation?
They tell me that they are probably a 6 or above.
Real quick here, X's and Y's at 2:30. But at what number on a scale of 10, what number gets to hot? I don't think a 6 is hot.
For a guy?
A guy to a guy? I don't know. I've never tread that territory.
I don't need. That's why I have to take their word. Because I can't objectively judge them.
I think that boys and men
That's what they say.
Look at women, generally speaking, just in the subconscious, look at women as either a 10 or I'm not paying attention.
No. Oh, no. That's not true at all. I know we're not doing X's and Y's yet, but there is a, it's not just 1 to 10 either. It's got to be like 1 to 1,000. And you can fall anywhere on that scale.
You called me a 5 on the air once, so we'll just go with that.
That's out of 1,000.
You told me it was out of 8 or something stupid.
That sounds like something I did.
Come in and look at the YouTube chat or YouTube live right now and tell me if you think I'm above or below a 5.
What did you tell me to look up again?
Exactly. I got talking about hot chicks or dudes with you. I don't even know which way we were going with it.
I don't know either.
And you're like, I've completely, it's 10 or nothing. She's either a dime or she's not.
No, that's not true.
Presidential fitness test.
Presidential fitness test. Presidential fitness test. There we go.
Careful.
What am I supposed to find out about it?
I want to know what the specifications are. President Trump brought the presidential fitness test back. I spoke at the beginning of the show at noon about why I think this is a good thing. It's not really because I want a bunch of kids to find out they're not adequate to the presidential fitness standards. But I do think that the idea of having standards is a good thing. And I think that understanding that there is an expectation out there that you could strive for is a good thing. I also know that not everybody is going to be good at the same things. Even within the presidential fitness test, one of the things that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth commented today behind the president while he was speaking in the Oval Office. Pete Hegseth said that he could never do the sit and reach, the V sit and reach, and that it always frustrated him that he couldn't do that. What do you have the standards?
Oh yeah, I got them. There's multiple events here too.
Let's discuss if we could do any of these things then or now.
The first one is the 1 mile run.
8 minutes?
Approximately. It depends on your age and your gender.
Yeah, exactly.
So it depends on how old you are and if you're a boy or a girl. And you have to do it in either 6 to 11 minutes and somewhere in between there.
I remember having to run an 8-minute mile, and I think that the only time I have ever done it is presidential fitness test time. And I practiced for it so I don't really have, it's interesting that it's up to 11. At what point does it become 11 minutes is acceptable?
I don't know. I'm assuming if you're a girl and you're in like 4th grade.
I don't know now what would be considered if I went out and ran a mile right now. I don't know now what would be considered. That's pretty good for a 42-year-old.
I don't either. The next event.
Could you do you remember how quickly you could run a mile?
When I was doing this, it was probably 6th grade. And I think I was doing it in about 7 minutes. Overall, all I remember, so I don't remember everything that I did, but I do remember that I got the presidential in some events, but not a lot of them. And mostly I got what was called the national. Remember that? You were either presidential or you were national.
Was national less than presidential?
Presidential was the red badge. Blue badge was national. And now you go, why was it called presidential and national? You could call like presidential and congressional or something. Or vice presidential.
Judicial.
How fast did you run a mile, Brad?
At my fastest, I was under 7 minutes.
Dang.
But
I was in high school.
If you would have said that you did 6 minutes, would he have been like, it was like 5 and a
I probably would have. I always did like a 3 or 4 minute mile once.
I always ran, like whenever I was running a lot, I was running 5Ks. So like you don't burn out yourself in the first mile. When was this?
Yeah.
After my first heart attack.
So you were
really? I was doing like 3 5Ks a week.
Wow.
My fastest time was a 25:26.
I don't even know what that means.
25 minutes, 26 seconds over 3.1 miles.
Okay. I'll just have to take your word for it.
But your pacing's different for that. Like with a mile, you can run a lot harder. And
Joe says ChatGPT good mile time for a 42-year-old female is 10 minutes and 21 seconds. I think I'd be super pumped if I got it in under 12 minutes right now.
Yeah. I think I'd be happy if I could jog a quarter mile. How about, you think I'm kidding? Curl ups. So not pull-ups.
Crunch? Or are you sure that's...
It just says curl-ups. I don't know.
It's these.
Measures... No, it says it measures...
No, are you sure it's not
abdominal
sit-ups?
strength?
I don't think that... I think that's modified sit-ups.
Okay, so...
like a curl, crunch.
Yeah. Okay, so measures abdominal strength and endurance, and it says you would need to be getting between 30 and 53 in 1 minute.
I could do that now.
I could not. Pull-ups. You mentioned
None,
these.
0, never.
I could do a ton of them on crates. Pull-ups or push-ups, because you could do both.
Did they say that they do modified push-ups?
The ones from your knees? It doesn't say.
Everybody calls them girl push-ups.
Yeah. No, it doesn't say. It just says that you would have to do between 2 and 20 pull-ups, depending on who you were.
Fail for me.
And then 13 or more push-ups. Man, at that age, I probably could have done quite a few push-ups.
The difference for upper body strength and where you carry your weight from a female to a male is so incredibly different. See, the fact that there are 2 genders and that's just the way science is. I could do push-ups, but I don't know if I could have done 13. Maybe. I got to the point where I could I could successfully do 10 real push-ups.
at that age, I think I could do it so many that I was doing them where I would like clap in between them and I'd look at the camera and give a thumbs up and be like, eat your cornflakes.
He looked at the camera,
hand.
but it was 1997
No
and it
hands.
was one of those VHS ones over the shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no film crew there.
And then what did you do with it after it was done? You just put it in your archive.
I just put it in the archive. Put it on DVD later with Legacy Box.
It's in the vault.
Legacy Box gets your order and it's like, nah.
No, thanks.
Nobody needs this.
You got a national award? We only do presidential. V-Sit Reach. You mentioned this one.
I'm very flexible.
I freaking hated this event. It was so painful because I would try to get the
'cause you're not
presidential.
flexible.
And here's the thing. I have kind of long arms. So I was able to do better in this event than most just because my arms were longer, but not because I was more flexible. You had to get between 3.5 and over 9 inches. I think that's past your feet. Or am I right?
I don't remember.
Were you
I just
trying to
remember,
get past your
Depends
feet?
on how short your
I
legs
remember
are.
everybody holding you down when you did it. Like they grabbed your
Uh-huh.
legs and they just leaned on you.
I'm going to dip in here real quick before we go to a break because Marco Rubio is speaking at the
For
press
more than
conference
2 months now, these
for Carolyn
innocent
Letter. Let's
sailors
dip in.
and commercial crew members have been stranded out at sea because Iran is conducting something that's not just criminal. It's criminal for sure, but it's desperate and destructive, this blockade of the Straits of Hormuz. Nations from around the world, the overwhelming majority of whom are not even engaged in any military hostilities, are now at risk not just of losing their cargo, but the lives of their own citizens because of this blockade. These ships, you don't leave a ship out there for this long. You start running out of food, you start running out of potable water, essential supplies, and they're at the mercy of this piracy. And what it is, it's piracy. And not only that, but some of them have seen, been opened fire on and rained down senseless attacks on several civilian ships already. So frankly, the way to put it, these are innocent bystanders. These are countries that, and ships and so forth that have nothing to do with any of this and nonetheless are being caught in the middle of it and being held hostage merely because Iran could do that, just as the regime brutally slaughtered tens of thousands of their own citizens for the crime of peaceful protest because they're unhappy with the quality of life or the lack of quality of life in Iran today. And so they're sitting ducks. They're isolated, they're starving, they're vulnerable. And at least 10 sailors have already died as a result of the civilian sailors. So already many nations privately and some publicly have asked the United States to help free their ships and to restore freedom of navigation in the Straits of Hormuz and this critical artery of global trade. And so President Trump, as he always does, stepped up and answered the calls for their help. And he's directed the United States military to guide these stranded ships to safety, to provide a protective bubble under which they can operate and move product and get themselves out of there and out of harm's way. And this is the first step towards reopening the strait and bringing this regime's last-ditch act of economic arson, bringing that to a close. We're doing it not only because we were asked, but because we're the only ones who can. Only we have the power to sort of take the steps that we've taken now. Under President Trump, the United States will help our friends. We're going to stand up to rogue regimes like the one in Tehran, and we're going to be unashamed to use our power and our abilities to project military power in the service of our national interest above all else. Now, what's really important for you to report and for everyone to understand is this is not an offensive operation. This is a defensive operation. And what that means is very simple. There's no shooting unless we're shot at first. Okay? We're not attacking them. But if they're attacking us or they're attacking a ship, you need to respond to that. You're not going to let some fast boat come up on a ship and shoot it up. We're going to respond to it, and we've been successful at it. I don't know what the exact number is, but I know a number of those fast boats have now been targeted, and will continue to be if they pose a threat to our forces. We'll shoot down drones, we'll shoot down missiles, but it's defensive in nature. This is defensive. So if you hear stories about attacks and launching of firing back and forth, it's not back and forth. We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defensive operation, and that's what's occurring here. Just about the importance of the Straits for a moment. This is approximately a quarter of the world's oil trade, along with significant volumes of fuel and fertilizer that operate through the Straits of Hormuz. The Iranian regime cannot be allowed to dictate who uses this vital waterway. I don't think this is also being reported enough. Maybe you are reporting. I don't read everyone. I don't know many damn outlets here. I don't know who you all are, but I know who some of you are, but I don't know all of you are. But I will say this about it. This is an international waterway. Okay, this is an international waterway. And international law is very clear, and I love it because everybody always talks about international law, and this international law on this is very clear. International waterways, no country can control them. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water, and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act. And someone needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done. It's completely illegal, completely illegitimate, and completely unacceptable. And that's why the United States military is guiding stranded commercial ships safely through the strait and is working to restore freedom of navigation and putting an end to these efforts to hold the global economy hostage.
There you have Secretary of State Marco Rubio speaking about some of the intentions, the plans, Project Freedom, of making the Strait of Hormuz passable once again. That'll get things flowing like a good enema for the world.
Okay, that is the world enema.
That's, if I were at the press room today, what I would have said. Would you say that what the United States is
Mr. Rubio.
I can't say
Secretary Rubio.
Would you say this is like a laxative or an enema for the Strait of Hormuz?
And he would have to address two things. One, did you just say an enema?
Yeah.
And then second, why did you say Hormuz?
Did you say enemy? No, enema. Enema.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is Annie Frey from the Annie Frey Show in the new media
Oh, I
chair.
wouldn't say that part.
I said what I said.
I would say something else. I'd say Steve here. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Crew Cut Steve. Your hair's completely different. You're trying to be a guy.
Ethan,
you're trying to
Sports
toss
Local,
a break. We won't let you.
On enema usage next. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you haven't reached out to Matt Hayes yet, there's still time. There's always time. Get on the schedule right now at 314-271-9900. 314-271-9900. There's a whole host of foundation repair concerns that you might have that Matt Hayes can fix. It's important that you hire somebody you can trust, and I trust you enough to invite Matt Hayes over to your home and make that decision for yourself. But I think you'll quickly understand why so many people who do hear about Home Shield Foundation Repair, who do have the opportunity to meet Matt Hayes and his team, they go, yeah, this is the guy, obviously. He's local. He's from St. Louis. His team is right here. It's a born and raised and grown business out of the St. Louis area. So when you reach out to them about your basement waterproofing, about your piering needs that you might have with foundational cracks, maybe some settling in your home, even uneven concrete at your home, these are all issues that Home Shield Foundation Repair can fix. 314-271-9900. Online right now at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down, 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
One man, one segment, one chance at stardom. American Ethan.
Is that new?
No, it only aired one time, though.
I like it. American Ethan. One chance at stardom and go.
That one just gets me.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Just look at what you're capable of when you really put your mind to it, Ryan.
I think Brad did that, actually.
Brad.
He came up with the idea.
Just look what you can do.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
You're failing at your opportunity
Yeah,
for
you
stardom.
are failing.
You're just kind of, you're living in it a little too long. This is a Ryan move.
Is it a no for you, dog?
Absolutely terrible.
Okay.
It's sponsored by All Financial.
Thank you.
Right here on the Annie Frey Show.
And that's a wrap.
That's all we had to do.
Former St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery is now asking a judge to dismiss federal charges against him, arguing he was targeted for political reasons after he refused to step down at the request of former Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Today, lawyers for Montgomery filed a motion to dismiss his federal indictment, arguing his charges stemmed from selective and vindictive prosecution. The motion argues that Montgomery's ongoing prosecution violates his Fifth Amendment rights and should be dismissed with prejudice, meaning if approved, the charges would not be refiled. He was, for all that forgotten, removed as the St. Louis sheriff in December, less than a year after taking office.
Yeah, this seems like pretty much the next logical step in that case. Be a lawsuit, say it's all political.
What happens next after that?
I think then he probably has to settle, mostly lose most of what he said, but that's just my guess.
Okay.
I don't think this is. It'll drag out for a long time, though, if that's what you're wondering.
As these things tend to do, of course. The St. Louis Cardinals 6-3 winners last night over the Milwaukee Brewers. Kyle Leahy threw 5 1/3 innings of one-run ball. Ivan Herrera had the biggest hit of the game, a 3-run bases-clearing double. At that point, that gave the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. J.J. Weatherholt was 2 for 4 with 2 runs driven in. Mason Wynn also had an RBI. Riley O'Brien continues to have an awesome year as the closer for the Cardinals. Picked up his 10th save of the year. And with the win, the Cardinals are now 21-14 on the season. They're currently second in the National League Central Division. And they have the 4th best record in the National League. So this start just continues to impress. 7 wins in their last 8 games as well. So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but it's just fun to watch the Cardinals right now, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is just the greatest team that you've ever seen?
In a while.
Yeah, in a few years, but I don't know if I would say I've ever seen. But it has been a fun start.
Would you say that the Strait of Hormuz is an enema to the world?
Somebody tweeted me enema combatants. I'm just getting a lot of funny jokes from listeners right now.
She's enjoying herself. It's a separate show.
Somebody else said,
it's a very
I've been
separate
spelling
show.
Bart wrong.
Wait, what? You're spelling Bart wrong?
Bart with a B.
Oh.
What does it have to do with that?
It just aired right before we went to break. I just thought it was a funny comment.
Anyway.
How are you spelling it?
American Ethan.
Yeah? Time?
Yeah.
Time to go?
You're doing fine.
No.
You're doing fine.
Okay.
Does
all
it
right.
look like we're ready to take it back? Come on now.
No.
I just need to know when it's my turn to take it back.
Now.
The Cardinals face off against the Brewers tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game set. As long as the rain is to hold off, it is supposed to rain, right now through the rest of the
Are
day.
you trying to manifest?
We shall see. Andre Palante is supposed to be on the mound for the Cardinals. He's 3-2 with a 3.73 ERA on the year. He'll be facing off against Brandon Sproat. And then Game 3 is tomorrow afternoon.
Sproat. It'd be fun to go to a bar with, though,
That's
wouldn't
like a name that two parents wanted to hyphenate, and they're like, no, let's combine it instead.
Right. I bet a lot of people came up with a lot of nicknames for him.
Sprout?
You think so?
Sproaty.
What's with you and nicknames
You
today?
I don't
He
know.
said off the air he really thinks Governor Kehoe needs a
The Strait of Hormuz?
I did say that. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think Governor Kehoe, I don't know. He just needs a nickname. Like, hey,
Of all the things,
the key man, or
Governor,
whatever. You know?
I don't think so.
He's the skeleton key.
I-
Opens all the doors. Something like that. What about Deep Sprout?
Anyway, Ethan,
Holy cow.
This is your sign.
Wow. It's a no for me, dog.
This hour just got titled Governor Skeleton Keys.
Well, I thought this hour should
Everyone
be called
will
"It's a No for Me,
understand what
Dog."
that means.
One more.
Plans for new developments at the site of the old Chesterfield Mall could be coming soon. The city of Chesterfield recently told local news station First Alert 4 that it expects to start working on infrastructure plans in May. They were also told that it would include mapping out sewer, gas, and water lines, among other things. All of the work is to transform that whole area where the mall once stood into a new, and I quote, downtown Chesterfield, including new shopping, dining, and entertainment options. So just drove by that all the other day. I think that Dillard's is the only part of that mall that is still up, and everything else is just dirt right now. So still obviously a little ways away, but it certainly will be interesting once that is all completed in a few years.
They should call that complex in the meantime Dirt and Dillard's. Here's a text I wanted to read about.
He's short-circuiting people. It's happening before our eyes. He's got jokes, and they're piling on top of each other. Ethan's walking out of the room.
Left. This is your segment. 314-241-9797.
Good.
If you happen to want to tell Annie where she is on a scale of 1 to whatever.
Are you talking about hotness?
Yeah, this person says, Randy here, Annie's a 10, which I find to be very offensive on a scale of 1 to 1,000.
Did you add the 1,000 part?
I just assumed that he was saying that. Yeah, he
Okay.
said that you were a 10.
Randy said I'm a 10 on a scale of 1 to 1,000.
Yeah.
That's not good.
This person says the hot scale has a wide range. You are you could be trailer park hot all the way through Southern
gosh, people.
California hot.
Holy cow.
Tons of different types all in between of hot.
California dime. She's a California dime. And Noel.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
Going out tonight. It's tonight. That's the name of the song.
Oh, dang
Tonight,
it. Now I
tonight.
do
Tonight,
know what
tonight.
song you're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's
Before,
talking
I
about
was
a
just making fun
California
of you.
dime.
Okay.
Trailer park. Don't say that like it's an insult.
I'm just reading it.
It's your fault. We'll be right back.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in a school pickup line, thinking about what to make for dinner. Are the kids' practice jerseys clean? If she sent out that last email before leaving work. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your HVAC systems at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com today. After all, comfort is our middle name.
Gentlemen, Mark Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Gentlemen, Mark Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
All right, are you ready to win tickets to the Guns and Hoses event on May 30th at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park? If so, now is the time to call 314-241-9797. Be the 9th caller, and you will win a pair of tickets to that event, which were given by Guns and Hoses. 314-241-9797. Hey, come on, it's a pun, so of course they like the comparison. It is 2:34 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
All right, we got phone lines going crazy right now. Thanks for calling in to win those tickets. It's X's and Y's time. This is the segment that we use each week to decide and figure out some different things about the differences between boys and girls, two genders. We get to the bottom of it here, and we ask each other questions. If you have a question you'd like to ask us, you can text us at 314-241-9797. Just put at the beginning of it X's and Y's or XY or whatever, and then Ryan will know that you're sending it in for this particular segment, 314-241-9797.
Why do women love true crime shows?
Oh, I don't. But I guess
but
they
women do.
Does that make me less of a woman?
Yes, it does.
It's too bad.
Why do women love true crime shows? Speaking on behalf of women.
Why do you think that they do? I don't.
I've heard theories, but I don't know that there's a scientific explanation.
I'm so inundated with news that I don't even watch some drama, if it's a 60-minute long police drama or whatever. That can feel too personal to me. I can't really separate the fantasy of watching that type of drama show versus reality. And then when it's true crime, is this a stupid question? True crime is always about a true crime story, right?
Yeah, that's why
it's never embellished or anything like that.
No. Well, the telling of it is up to the individual show or podcast.
I think women like to solve problems, and they think when they listen maybe that they're going to solve it, which is not going to happen. But I don't know. I think you're right that women do. Do men get into it?
Well, I'm sure some men like crime podcasts and shows,
crime.
But I don't think that it's like the demographic that those things shoot for is women.
Women.
So I can't say that no men like that stuff.
Any other thoughts?
I can tell you that what I've heard is that women like drama more than men as far as entertainment goes.
Sure.
And relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And that oddly, crime podcasts.
Do you guys hear that?
This is a little bit of fuzz in my ear.
Yeah, me too.
Crime and true crime shows are all about drama and relationships that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why women like them, is because, and you could say, oh man, this really happened.
I don't know. I definitely agree that it's more of a woman-centered genre. But
Why'd you say that word like that?
Because that's how you say it, Ethan, when you're intellectual.
When you're in their room with Marco Rubio.
But I'm just not that person. I'm very not that person. Either of you guys any of you guys really into true crime?
I enjoy the occasional Netflix documentary, but I'm not one that is just hooked on like the podcasts. I feel like there's levels to it. But I'll say this too. A lot of that comes from my wife really enjoys those. So that kind of pulls me into it. It's something that, we like to do together is watch those documentaries. So if it was just me alone, I probably wouldn't have much interest in the true crime subject.
Brad, you into true crime?
No, not at all. Not even in the least.
Okay.
Not at all.
Next X's and Y's question. I'm going to bring it to the room here. So you guys, is there a truth to what men can say? The place that you generally put this is the locker room. But when men are together, can you say certain things about anything in the privacy of just men?
Yes, 100%.
What kind of? Don't tell me like the things you say, obviously, but what are the 30,000-foot view subjects that are discussed in a way specific only when men are present?
I mean, it's usually really, really inappropriate jokes. And if those jokes have anything to do with anatomy, whether they be female or male.
I was going to say, does it tend to be more men? Or is it equal opportunity? Like,
it's both. Yeah,
it's
go
not
either
like,
way.
oh, there are no ladies around, let's talk about the ladies.
No.
It may even be more crude in the male sense the majority of the time.
Yes. And in fact, I'll say that there are times that Brad and I, for instance, will be like doing the normal thing where you just insult each other because you're friends. And I will go to make an insult and I'll be like, oh, hang on, Annie's in the room. And so
you pull punches because I'm around?
We will restrain to an extent around you.
How do you think I feel about that?
I think that you're thankful for that.
How do you think I feel about that?
I think that you should be thankful for that.
I think you're a little bit thankful for it, but I think there's a part of you that has FOMO.
I'm super thankful for that.
Are you?
Yeah. No, I don't want to know what you boys are thinking.
Yeah.
Way past that time in my life. Like, treat me like the lady that I am.
Well,
shut up. I don't like your hesitation there at all.
You set yourself up there.
Here's the reason I asked that. Because, of course, Ethan, you have been in locker rooms reporting after games, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Ever women in there?
Yeah.
Do you feel like in the experiences that you've had that the females that are in a locker room post-game, maybe pre-game or whatever, but in a locker room specifically, do you feel like the females that you've been around and worked with are getting treated equally?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the question. And this is from an Outkick article that I found online. It's on Fox News. Shiloh Sanders isn't doing his brother Shador any favors with his recent insults aimed at a Cleveland Browns female reporter, Mary Kay Cabot. Here's what happened. It says, in case you missed it, Shiloh made what many are calling a misogynistic comment on an Instagram video of Cabot urging the Browns to make Deshaun Watson their number one quarterback over Shedeur. That's his brother. Cabot, who has been covering the Browns since 1988, said, quote, I think they should declare Watson QB1 ASAP and let the first team offense start to cook. There's no time to waste. So here's where the locker room conversation comes in, and whether or not in a post-woke culture you think that this type of comment should be okay. Shiloh, Shedeur's brother, commented on this Instagram post, go make a sandwich, Mary.
Oh, man.
Jeesh.
Is that an acceptable comment in the post-woke culture? That his response to, now it's a brother, so you're going to defend your brother with a little more fervor than maybe you would another teammate or just a random person if you have a sports opinion. Go make a sandwich, Mary. Is there ever a time, even in a locker room where there's no women around, where your reaction could be, go make a sandwich, Mary, and have that be okay? Brad?
I mean, never, not if you're serious about it. I think if you're making a joke about something, then yeah, but not. And really, I think also you have to know the person to know that it's okay to make the joke about them. So I don't know. The only time is if it's not serious and you're making. So,
like you're saying, there might be an instance where it might be funny for Ryan to tell me to go make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to try that?
Please try it.
Well,
please.
Would you make me please a sub?
Holy cow, dude. Why don't you just go crawl out of here? Holy cow.
I was asking nicely.
No, yeah, it sounded like you said that in fear. Like you didn't know if he was supposed to do it or not supposed to do it.
I still don't know.
Are you panicking?
No, but I am.
You said that like Kavanaugh talking about beer.
I am not panicking.
I like beer. I still like beer.
I just started thinking now about maybe I would have a sandwich by 3. And now I don't know.
And he's trying to figure out.
Ethan, is it ever appropriate?
It could get made.
Is the comment, go make a sandwich, Mary, ever an appropriate comment? Is there a context where it's okay?
Gosh, you could ask that same question about a lot of things that comedians say. Like, there is a level to humor that if you are saying it seriously, it is not appropriate. I think that this could be taken in the same way in which I think that on the occasion, like with the right people, like making sure it's people you know, about people you know, and making it very clear it's in a joking manner, that something can be funny, but kind of like Brad said, if there's any sort of seriousness behind it, or even like legitimate jab that there's serious slight meant by it, then I think that it quickly becomes a no-no.
There's certainly an instance where, in the context of our conversations here, if people understand the relationship that Ryan and I have, that you could say that on the air at the right time, and it would be both funny and it would be both funny and unfunny at the same time. And you would have to determine if it was worth the risk. And I, as somebody who wants people to be entertained here, would have to determine if it was worth the risk after it was said. Do you think there's ever that you think it's ever okay?
I do, because I just don't care about that phrase at all. In fact, that phrase rolls right past me without me ever noticing it.
Does it because you're a man?
Probably because I'm a guy, but also because it's a common. It's like that's what she said. People just throw it around so much that I don't even think about it anymore.
That's what she said I know that there's a she in it, but it's a gender-neutral play because it could be a she or he interchangeably.
I'm not saying in the sense of men or women. I'm saying in the sense of jokes. It's just
nobody ever says, go make me a sandwich, George.
Right, but the joke itself is just like wallpaper to me. I don't really think about it at all because it's so commonly used.
Well, to add to what you're saying right there, I could see an instance where I think you would say it to me and it would be funny, and it would depend on my mood that day, whether I was going to be internally upset that day, which is a risk you take when you say something that is blatantly sexist.
Yeah.
Because that's what that is. It's just a blatantly sexist comment. But there are certainly things that can be said to men that are blatantly sexist. Like I was going to say to you, you were thinking about the sandwich thing when you were asking me that, and I was going to say pretty typical male behavior to start thinking about the answer to your question about 30 seconds in.
See, I would have been super offended.
And I didn't want to hurt your feelings because I care about you.
And I would have buried myself in a sandwich.
And cry. In an oatmeal cream pie.
And
yeah.
whimpered, yeah.
But I mean, like to say that to you, I could have made a joke about you being a man and the level of the thinking that you. But I mean, in that instance, it would be a mirror reverse of what we're talking about. I'm making a joke about you being man and a stereotype of males, which isn't applicable to anybody individually. It's only applicable to a stereotype that is among the whole. I think the difference in the sandwich comment is it regulates a woman all the way back to a kitchen as if that is her purpose, is to feed specifically men. So I think that should it not be said, certainly the context with which it was used here is as dumb and lazy as it possibly gets. That's what I think kind of what you're saying is like, you just don't even respect it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a boring joke.
Yeah.
It's
so it's not going to bug you.
No, because it just doesn't affect me at all.
But it's also not going to get your attention. Like the insult that he's trying to deliver, you're kind of saying like, you could do better than that.
I am. And also most of the time when people say it, I've already had a sandwich.
Yeah.
And I'm like not even hungry.
Good point.
If you had a sandwich though, would you be open to me making you a sandwich?
Only because of the respect, yes.
Holy cow.
Would you eat a sandwich that I made for you?
No. You would probably have ruined that sandwich in some way or another.
Probably be like cheese and jelly or some crap like
some
that.
stupid
salami.
thing. Or some poison in
A
it.
delicious sandwich.
Disgusting.
We'll do more X's and Y's when we come back. Don't go away. Todd Sivia and Sivia Law on both sides of the Mississippi River, Illinois, and Missouri alike. They've got a ton of locations for you to hook up with to get your trust established, to get your wills, your powers of attorney, all of it ready to go. And when you call and schedule an appointment at 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, and you mention my name, that initial strategy session fee waived. You don't have to pay it. It's a savings of $300. So mention Annie when you call 833-995-WILL. I want to remind you of a few events that they have coming up right now. An estate planning workshop doesn't cost you anything to attend. It's a complimentary estate planning workshop with community presentations, special events, and they are across Illinois and Missouri. So the next ones coming up here are in Illinois on May 11th, May 14th, May 18th, and May 19th in Edwardsville, O'Fallon, Highland, and Centralia, and on May 19th in Warrenton, Missouri at the Scenic Regional Library. If you want to know the specifics of these events, go to civialaw.com/events. That's civialaw.com/events.
97.1 FM Talk is proud to support the Guns N' Hoses First Responders Soccer Cup, May 30th at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Law enforcement battles firefighters and EMTs on the field, all for a great cause. 971talk.com/events.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Most sellers put their home on the market and just wait to see what happens. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
Nope.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A couple comments here on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll question. How do you feel about the GLP-1 weight loss medicines? Diane said, use them under strict supervision. I personally would not use it. TJ said, I don't personally use them, but my wife does, and she did everything right and couldn't lose the weight. GLP-1s are the only thing that worked for her. And Wichita said, if you need to lose 20 to 40 pounds, get off your rear. Watch what you eat. All the info is out there.
He spells rear different than I do.
He spelled butt differently than I said it too. Ender said it's an easy button. Those that want to take it can. Not disputing that. Annie is arguing the virtuous side of that, which is fine, but let's be real, that's not the norm. So you can leave us your comments, but get in a quick vote here. Brad, real quick, X's and Y's question.
Yeah, I got myself in trouble on Instagram by commenting on this, but the lady said...
Did you tell someone to make a sandwich?
No, but I asked what was wrong with this. So the post was basically, when your husband said, or when you tell your husband you want to go get ice cream and he's happy to take you to get ice cream, but he doesn't want any, and then your attitude is, never mind, I don't want it anyway. My question is, and my comment was, why don't you just go with your husband to get ice cream, even if he doesn't get ice cream also? So why is it that girls tend to want their husbands to want ice cream when they want ice cream, or something along those lines?
Is that a girl thing?
It definitely was
Ryan's
all women
never
that were
encountered that
lighting me up.
because Ryan's never not wanted ice cream.
That's correct. Although in my household, it is true that if my wife says, hey, I want ice cream.
You're getting ice cream.
She is like, you have to also want ice cream.
She probably just doesn't want to feel like she's pigging.
Well, probably. And I think she also is trying to be nice. Like, don't go run an errand just for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted it also.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the only rationale I can come up with. And I've asked her about that. I said, why won't you let me? It's funny you bring this up because that is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't you let me just go do an errand for you? And she's like, well, I will, but I just feel bad.
Yeah, she feels like she's being selfish of your time.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Think about it. We got a couple minutes left here.
No, we don't, Ethan. You want to hit us with the results?
Well, if it'll actually pop up because it's not popping up
How do you
right now.
feel about GLP-1 weight loss medicines? Yes, and I use them. That's me. Yes, but haven't tried them. That's Ryan. No, and you've tried them. No, and I wouldn't try them. That's Brad. The results of today's poll, I will read to you right now. 1% said no, and you have tried them. So nobody who's tried them, barely anyone, has said 49% say no, you don't like them, and you would not try them. 26% say yes, but you haven't tried them, and 23% say yes, and you use them. So basically, half of you are a yes, half of you are heck no. Keep it right here, Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk. Next.
So beat the drum.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
If you want to get your kids interested in investing, let them get their hands dirty. Financial planner Shane Gornick says you can set up a custodial account.
A parent would set up the account on your child's behalf.
Or you can start with paper trading, which doesn't involve real money.
Using real prices and